going on, people? Welcome to Throw Down Your Questions, episode 221. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I am joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? I am back. You notice my environment is a little different. You can see me now.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, guys, I'm back too.
Adam Vale.
What's up?
And Brian Manjoma.
Unfortunately, my favorite machine in the gym broke last night. I now
The
can't get
treadmill?
my Mars bars.
I think you fucked up the joke. Can you say that again, Brian?
Yeah, he did. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, my favorite machine in the gym broke last night. So now I can't get my Mars bars.
Excuse me?
Oh, the vending machine. Wow.
Yeah. It's a cool machine though. Like when he goes in, food comes out. No one can explain that.
Yeah, it took me a while because I was like, what the hell is a Mars bar?
It's a candy bar that
It's a
used to come
candy.
out in the 60s.
Yeah, but that joke went right over my head, though. Like,
It's because like there's workout machines like you can lift and
Yeah, and he's in a gym. He's using a vending machine. Get it?
oh, okay. Right over my head.
God damn it, Tony! Come on, it's a vending machine.
I mean, it's Tony, man.
I don't know what the fuck that means either. That went over my head, too.
Every time I say a joke, you're the only one that never gets it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Clickety clack, clickety clack.
Yeah, who's clickety clacking over there? Look at it's Adam. I knew it. I knew
Adam.
it.
You eating a Mars bar, man?
No, what do you mean I'm clicking and clack?
Yeah, because as soon as we stop, like you're.
I
yeah.
haven't stopped doing anything.
Okay.
Oh,
who's-
he's his controller. He has
It's
his
probably
controller
my
in his head.
That's
It's
why.
That's crazy, and it shows how sensitive this mic is because
Yeah.
it's way low.
Click it a clack, kick it a clack, kick it a clack. All right, man. So before we start, just gotta inform you that we are on the Discords, and that is the primary way we're taking questions from now on. So if you want to ask us questions for, the episodes, just go to our Discord, which is linked down below. It's on Twitch. You can just click on the thing. On YouTube, it's down there. Like, it's everywhere. It's on our Twitters, all that shit. Yeah.
Everywhere.
And also, because I want to do this at the top of the show, because not everybody sticks around for the end. So we have an announcement to make. Two of them even. All right, so first of all, let's announce the contest. We're finally going to do this. So late last year, we finalized that we're going to do a contest. It's a collaboration between us and the Spawn on Me crew. So basically, we're going to give you guys a game courtesy of them, and we're going to give their fans a game. So that should be fun. So we're going to finally do that on Thursday. We don't know what the contest will be exactly, but it'll be something nice and simple. So that'll start up on Thursday, and we'll probably give you a week, and then we'll give you a game. The only major rule is like the game you select, any game you want, you can select any game you want, but it cannot be over $60. You ain't buying no collector's edition on our fucking dime, Fuck out of here. All right, so that's the first one, and then the second one. This is a bomb drop right now.
Oh,
So me and Carlos are going to do something very special for you guys starting Monday night. Okay, in case you don't know, this is going to be a shocker. I've never played Halo before, ever in my life. But I have Game Pass, and Carlos told me there's the Halo Master Chief Collection on Game Pass. So Monday through Wednesday, me and Carlos are going to be playing all of the first Halos for you people. So that'll be interesting because again, it's my first time playing it ever, and like even though I did play the final boss in that back in the day, that Carlos' first time since he was like in fucking high school or something,
Yeah, middle school, high school, around that time.
Yeah, so
That's a long ass time ago, man.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, to quote Richard Bailey Jr. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
So yeah, and we'll remind you about that, at the end of the show. All right, so we got some questions. All of these actually came from the Discord, except for Matt's question. Matt Wheaton, he always posts on YouTube. He posted this one of the Coalition, but we said we're gonna keep taking those questions up until the end of the month. Even though part of me is going, if you want to keep asking them on YouTube, you can. I'm just not going to announce it that we're going to be doing it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep saying all that shit. I just want to say Discord, So you know what? Fuck it. Let's make that a rule. If you want to keep asking us questions on YouTube or Coalition, you can. Go ahead. I'll check them. I'm just not going to announce it,
You don't know. You're not gonna announcement.
Exactly. I feel there was something else. Oh no, the thing I wanted to talk about was Crackdown, but we got a question about that, so we'll get to it. It's going to be very interesting. All right, so the first question is from Dad versus the or him deal. He has a bunch of different names. So he goes, Apex Legends seems to be doing quite well despite the way it launched. Do you have any additional thoughts on the present success of this game?
What success? It's got a lot of people playing a free to play. Let me see the numbers. Let me see that it's actually
25
making
million.
money. That's 25 million. That's people on it. Doesn't mean they're buying shit.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I want to see how much money they're actually making.
But
because we see a lot of free to plays, and then they say they're not making money. Then they close up shop. I'm like, what the hell? You got all these people playing. Yeah, but no one's buying anything.
Yeah, but the thing is, like 25, you can't just say, "Oh, 25 million, that's nothing. It's free."
No, it's not. It's nothing.
It's
just,
but the thing is that how long can it sustain those numbers if you're not getting anything, if people are not buying the content.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like, of course, a lot of people going to be
unless they put big flashy ads all over the damn thing.
We don't have any numbers of how much profit they've made from this game, but I don't know in what world anybody's living in where they can say this game is not a success. This game is definitely a success.
Oh yes, it is
a
success.
Yeah.
It is a success on the on the actual people that are actually playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to talk about the real question is, what are their real numbers? What are they making off of their microtransactions? And is it enough to keep that sort of thing going?
Exactly.
I mean, Cliff Bleszinski's game, when he did his game, right? Well, that thing was doing pretty damn well when it first launched too.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it did.
No,
in the beginning, it
no,
did.
it didn't. No, it didn't.
Did Lawbreaker
No,
pretty good
that thing
at the
bombed.
beginning?
That thing bombed at the beginning.
It bombed seriously.
Nobody jumped
Same thing
in
with
on that.
Radical Heights. That bombed too. By the way, Cliffy B
But
threw some
people
shade. Did you
but
guys see the
people
shade he threw, son?
But people liked Radical Heights. That was a weird thing.
Yeah,
That was the 80s one, right? That was the one that was in the 80s.
I think so. By the way, did you
Yeah,
guys
that was the
see-
one
yeah.
that did. I remember there being a lot of players on that thing, and then it just kind of fell off because nobody was buying the microtransactions.
Yeah, did you guys see the shade he was throwing?
No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he said
What
like,
was his shade?
when Lawbreakers and whatever his other game came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically because a bunch of people are going, hey, why don't you bring back this and that? He's like, okay, where was his interest when the game was originally out? He's at a point. He's at a point.
Yeah,
there.
it's
Well,
true.
he's got a point, but he sounds like a sore loser.
But he always, Cliff Bleszinski has a way of saying things. I'm trying to be nice here. But yeah, I remember I told you guys privately, I guess publicly now, I was like, when I saw how successful this game was, I'm like, yo, Cliff Bleszinski must be pissed right now. And he was,
But if you look at the thing that he like what they were offering with his game, I mean, he wasn't really offering anything that great.
Apex Legends isn't either, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really one. Both of them threw their hats into the field or into the ring. I don't know what the hell that shit is, but one of them struck gold, and that's what it is. It's more of a fucking loot box more than anything with these games. Like most of these games are gonna go in, but most of them are not gonna be successful.
Yeah, it's like the definition of throwing shit at a wall to see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Apex Legends stuck. Radical Heights didn't. But to me, I'm like, I know people were, like, okay, they like the fact that you could revive your team members or that you actually have a team. I understand that, but to me, they're not really doing anything crazy different. It's just another battle royale game.
It's just another one jumping into the same pool.
If you think about it, like what Tony mentioned, the reviving and I forgot what the other thing you mentioned was
the actual team aspect of it. That's yeah.
Other than those two things, those are just little features. They're not really anything like radical. So
it's just
Wink,
it's a battle royale that's free to play, and so it makes sense. Everybody that's in on it are gonna go and get it, just like all these superhero movies. Even if you're not into, let's say, certain characters, you're still gonna go because it's a superhero movie and you enjoy them. And I think it's the same thing. I just want to know how much of this is transferring into actual money. Yeah, 25 million, no doubt. The whole genre is very popular right now.
Yeah, it's so I guess that that's actually Brian. What are your thoughts on this whole Apex Legends stuff?
I think it's very interesting to see how big this thing has just blown up. I mean, like to my knowledge, this is like one of the few games that have come out like day and launch, with no publicity, no hype, no betas or anything, and it pretty much works just fine, like compared to everything else. I mean, for some odd reason, this game is more stable than Fallout 76, which is really fucking weird. I mean, no, come on, like it. Oh,
I love how Brett just shows up as soon as you say that.
Oh shit!
Damn, he heard
Man,
that
that's
shit.
creepy.
My ears are
Hey,
burning.
Brian, were you talking shit?
Yes, he was. He literally finished saying that Apex Legends works unlike
Oh my
Fallout
God.
76.
Brett, your timing was perfect.
I do what I can.
Anyway, Brian, continue.
His ears were burning at that moment in
Yes.
time.
Oh god,
He's talking shit.
It's just like one of the few games that is online, and the online, as far as I know, has just worked quite well. Like it's just out the gate and just works, which is really weird. Maybe that has something to do with things, and also the fact that it's a battle royale game and it's free to play. I think that that's what edges it out over Radical Heights, because Radical Heights was an open access game. Early access game.
Yeah, early access.
So maybe that may have like flipped the balance. Maybe it seems like if you want a game to do well, that's battle royale. Just make it free to play, and then just put it out there and see what happens.
Yeah. By the way, Brett, what are you shuffling with right now, man? Would you draw on this stuff?
Nah, I'm just picking some shit up around the house.
Yeah, anyway, what are your thoughts on the success of I was about to say Radical Heights of Apex Legends? Mr. Murdoch.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yes.
I think I don't know how it got to the point where it got to be as big a contender as Fortnite, but it's that weird scenario of the changing of the guards. There can only really be one big battle royale game, and I don't know. The next one seems to be Apex Legends. It seems like the community as a whole has decided to kind of like step in this, as opposed to Fortnite. I can't tell you what makes Apex Legends the one that got picked though. I can't.
Easy, it's free, and it's from
among the other free games, bro.
Yeah, but it's a big publisher that's releasing it, and it's new. It's the new hotness. It's like, why get the new Levi jeans or whatever it is that people get? It's because it's new.
The next big
one will be just as big. The next one that comes out, I'm sure, if it's free to play and it's from a big publisher, people will jump on it because, like, oh, okay, I want to see what this is about. Think about it. It's free. We all have it because it's free. Will we have all bought it?
Oh, fuck no.
No.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No. If this game came out like, let's say PUBG or like Fortnite, where it was for $30, $29.99, would it still be a hit? I don't think so.
Fortnite. No, that's a good point. I don't think Fortnite would be as successful.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, because think about who's playing Fortnite. It's kids that don't have any money. So Adam, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Or taste in gaming.
Yeah, or taste in gaming. Yeah, Adam, I'm gonna hold you to that. By the way, if the next battle royale game comes from a big publisher and it flops,
big publisher. All right, so let's see which one's the big. Well, the next one that we know of is coming from EA. And they haven't really said shit about it. So who knows? Maybe they lost faith in that.
Isn't Apex Legends EA also?
Yeah, it is.
That's what. Yeah, but the Battlefield one.
Yeah, but it's more theoretical. Like, let's just say, for example, if Ubisoft comes out with one, right, Adam? Got you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll see. All right, let's move on here to the next.
And it's got to be free to play.
You got to be free to play. Yeah, exactly. All right.
Did we actually answer the question?
Yeah, we did. He wanted to know what our thoughts on the success of the game was. So I think we answered it. We already talked about this shit, so there's not much more we can add to it. Again, like I said on the last episode, it's interesting how we on Throwdown can't agree on many things game related, but we all agree we don't like Battle Royale. It's hilarious. All right, moving on here. Okay, it sounds like Activision let Bungie and Destiny go because they couldn't get any more money from the property. Seems like without Activision, much of this game's DLC might have been free, if not significantly cheaper. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I saw that. You saw that report when the Activision came out talking about their reason for letting go of Destiny?
No, I didn't see that. What they say?
Yeah, but it's pretty much the same thing than what we assumed. They just figured they couldn't make any more money out of it. So like, you know what? Yeah, we've milked it dry. You can go.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically it. When they saw there was no ROI, I mean, they can talk there. So we called them out when they said, "Oh, we have a 10-year plan for Destiny."
Mm-hmm.
It's like bullshit, and then the sequel came out.
Mm-hmm.
They milked it. They put in every expansion and microtransaction you could, and when it wasn't paying back the dividends, they just said, "All right, fuck it,
cut the cord."
Yeah, and they let Bungie walk away with it. That's like unheard of.
It sort of reminds me of when Square did that with Hitman. And they were like, you know what, go ahead, take it. Yeah, that means they really think they can't make any more money out of this thing.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We talked about it. We figured this was the reason. They just had no faith in it.
And the only difference is Destiny was built to be a revenue generator, and it just didn't work. Not the way they wanted.
Yeah. All right. I don't think we have any more to say on that. John, hold on. Make sure my fucking volume's all right. Johnny W. Uppercut. I like that name. He goes, "What's up, Throwdown crew? It's Mr. Uppercut once again. Hello. All right. I have a few questions. Very interesting. I have a few questions that are related to one of my favorite comic book. Oh, he's British. He wrote a U in there. One of my favorite comic book creators, Jack Kirby, specifically the New Gods. He has two questions, but I combine them into one. If you guys are to, would make a game based on the New Gods, what genre would it be, and what type of gameplay would it have? Who would you cast in it? Yeah, New Gods is getting a movie, as you guys know. Which is interesting. I couldn't really think of anything. I'm like, just make it like DC Universe Online. Like, you'll have Apocalypse and New Genesis, and you could travel in between them and stuff. And you could just play as one of the New Gods, or, yeah, they're all called New Gods. Even if you're on Apocalypse, you're still a New God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, just make it an MMO. So you could travel back and forth between two worlds. I mean, it would be cool, but not a lot of people know New Gods, so I don't know. It's
a very difficult prospect to kind of tell a story in video game wise that doesn't that's supposed to be about a whole group of things, but group of people, but not like usually games are kind of sit around a couple of protagonists. So I mean, it's like, how would you set that sort of thing up? I mean, obviously, I would think a New Gods game would probably be about Orion, and then just his trials between living with Darkseid, and then also the whole thing with the person was it the child switch.
Yeah, or they could do what the movie's doing, and I guess because the comic book is hot right now, read about Mr. Miracle,
Oh,
could be that too.
I mean, the only thing is like, yeah, Mr. Miracle's cool. It's kind of fun, and like he's essentially their Deadpool. But
well, remember, his origin is fucked up. He was the one that was traded, and they threw him into the basement, basically, the pit. Like basically, Highfather, he took Darkseid's child, he raised them to be Orion. He actually raised them up, right? Mm-hmm. Darkseid took Scott Free and just threw him in a fucking dungeon. It's like, all right, I don't care.
You belong in a dungeon.
It's crazy. Glorious War says, what do you say? The New Gods are cool. Yeah, but I don't think that would work. But I like the question because who the fuck talks about New Gods?
Yeah, nobody was really talking about those. I mean, other than the Mr. Miracle comic book. I mean, it's that book is so unbelievably Jack Kirby. It's like, it's not even funny. It's like, it's just like, oh god, wow, it's so heavy. Like, as far as not heavy as in like events, but just because has heavy as in like it's like concentrated Jack.
Yeah, that's what happens when Jack is just left to do his own stuff.
Yeah, it's left to his devices. It's just like constant, like when you get Fantastic Four, it's obviously it's Stanley and it's Jack kind of creating those stories, right? But now in that one, it's just all Jack. Crazy worlds, Kirby crackle everywhere. You know.
Yeah, same thing with the Eternals when he did that for Marvel. It's like, whoa, you know, just Jack Kirby out the ass.
Sometimes I wonder if that dude ever smoked. Because man, the shit that came out of his brain, him and Ditko.
He was. What was that guy? The thing you guys talked about, the high intelligence or something.
The great intelligence.
He's connected. That's what Jack Kirby was connected. He was thinking shit no one else was thinking of.
Yeah, I was watching this thing about Jack Kirby, like, because basically a lot of like comic book creators, like Marv Wolfman, like when they were kids, they would go visit him at his house. Like Jack Kirby just left his door open, and kids would just show up, and they were talking about how like the way
come into the basement.
Yeah, like kids would just hang out. Yeah, his wife would make him food and shit, you know. And he was talking about how like Jack Kirby, like, you know, when you're drawing stuff, you make like a skeleton, you make a base thing. Like Jack Kirby apparently just starts with a hand and then draws the whole thing from there. It's like, oh, shit, that's crazy. Or like a knee. He starts with a knee and just, you know, goes off from there, you know.
Well, that is a person whose mind is definitely connected directly to his hand. I mean, there's for a lot of for like it's like that Kim Jong Gook or whatever guy. Like he,
what?
I don't know. I can't remember the
dictator
artist's
of
name.
Korea.
I don't know his name.
You know who else did that?
Kim Jong Yi or something like that. I can't remember the dude's name.
I know.
Anyway,
that dude, crazy dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude literally just like. You know, he'll start in like a random section of it and just draw a whole image, and it's that much, you know, just that much connection between your brain. Like for me, I need to do constructions. I need to do, you know, a little bit of stuff to get to where I need to get to. What were you gonna say, Chris?
Well, I was gonna say for Zeta, but he didn't start with a random body part and grow out of it.
And I mean, like guys like Drew Struzan, who essentially has a photographic memory. As far as he's, you know, so, but yeah, I mean, New Gods game. I mean, it would be a very hard sell. I mean,
maybe they could do it after the movie. Who knows? But it would be hard to. It would be a hard sell. You know,
it would be really hard because it's like I almost feel like you kind of have to give people a little bit. You don't go too crazy. Like, in other words, you don't drop it. You don't drop somebody into an ocean, before and tell them to swim. You kind of drop them into like into the kiddie pool, until they learn how to swim, and then you tell them, oh wait, this space is a lot bigger than you actually are,
Oh, wait, I wanted to answer the last question.
Actually, nobody even heard me even ask that anyway, so go ahead, Chris. My bad, people. I have myself fucking muted. Anyway, go ahead.
I would say for New Gods, make it a real-time strategy, kind of like StarCraft. So you're like All-Father and whatever, and you command your forces. I know Darkseid has those like, those wing guys.
Terror dog things, yeah.
Parademons.
Parademons, right? So All-Father is an equivalent, right? You could have base troops and build up your tech tree and have it like kind of like StarCraft, and where you fight over territory, and if you're Darkseid, you're going after that anti-life equation. If you're All-Father, you're just trying to fucking kill Darkseid.
And then you have each side has like heroes, right? Like kind of like the way Warcraft had. So I guess
that's where you pull out Orion
and
Hollaback and all.
I think
that
a strategy game might actually be better. To be honest, it would be a better fit.
That's actually a really great idea.
Yeah, I know you're right about that. Yeah, you're with the heroes and all that. It's crazy. All right, now we'll move on. And now I can say it. I'm not going to be muted. We're going to talk about the Crackdown 3, baby. By the way, Inglorious War, I'll get to your comment real quick. But Black Metal Gamer, he goes, does Crackdown 3 deserve 60 Metascore critic? It's actually 59 right now, not 60 anymore. What would you rate the game based on your own experience? All right, this is going to get interesting. We almost had a discussion about this before the show, but I nipped it in the bud because I was like, save it for the show. Right, Carlos? Hashtag save it for the show. All right. So, who's going to go first? Let's go with Adam first because he's the old school. What do you think of it?
When I jumped into it and started running around, I'm like, oh, this feels like Crackdown 1. It had that feel. It had the lock on, and you just start shooting at the enemies, and you jumping around. And of course, you're at low level, so you haven't really upgraded yet, and so you have that basic feel. The world felt okay. It definitely looked a lot better than what I've seen from the gameplay, which looked real empty and wooded areas. I'm like, what the hell is this? Where's the city? Well, we're in the city, so that's cool. I played as Terry Crews. I picked the Terry Crews character.
Yeah.
You know, because I figured he would have the best dialogue, and even that entrance. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but that intro video, I wonder if it's different for other characters, or is it the same outcome?
I think it's the same outcome because he's supposed to be like the leader of the division of the agency in this one.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that happen to all whoever you pick? All right, but yeah, that was pretty cool, and I don't know, it felt all right. I didn't even bother with the multiplayer yet, you know, but I had fun. I mean, it is what it is. You said it before, and we've talked about this before. It's a simple game. You know, you get some weapons, you get some grenades, you level up, you do super jumps, you know, your car can be fast, you level up all those aspects. You can pick up things, heavy things, throw them far, pick up dead bodies, pick up cars, you know, I don't know if you guys, I played by myself, but if you play in co-op, did either of you get strong enough to pick up a car?
I think I was, but I never pick up stuff in the game unless I have to for the story.
Because one of the fun things you could do in the first one and in the second one is that, let's say if a buddy of yours is not strong enough or he can't jump high enough, you could tell him to get in a car. You pick up the car and then you throw it on top of the roof, or you throw it across somewhere, so that way he can get to where he needs to go. That was funny. There was some funny moments with that. I'm sure it's there in this one too. You know, but it felt all right. I mean, it doesn't really offer anything new. I didn't have a new feel. I just felt like, besides the world being a different area, it felt the same. Now, here's the thing: the agent, the main narrator, the guy that eventually comes in, he was a bad guy at the end of one, and he screws you over. But then I guess they scrapped that in the story here and just said, "Hey, he's just your leader. You know, he's your guidance." But yeah, he basically betrays you at the end after you beat the game. And he says, "Thanks, agent. We double crossed you. We tricked you. Now we're gonna take over." And that was, you know, spoiler for the first one. That's what happened. So besides that, though, it was all right. You know, you run around, and the people in the world, the open world, had little comments, "Oh no," and doing that whole thing, and it felt alive. And it's fun. It's one of those where you put on some music in the background and you just run around and just shoot and blow shit up. That's what the first one was, and the second one tried to do that with infected people and stuff. But it was in the same world, so it felt very boring. This is a different world, but a lot of the same elements. The only thing, it hasn't happened for me yet. I haven't leveled up the vehicle, but I know that you can't morph the vehicles like you used to in the first one.
Yeah, you can.
It changes once you get in the vehicle.
Yeah, that's one of the things you unlock later. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Because I don't understand. I saw all these reports, people saying that they took that animation out. Because before, you would get in a car, and depending on your level, you would see it start transforming. And if somebody else gets in the car, if they're not that level, it won't transform.
You need a specific vehicle that transforms, though. That's what it is.
Oh, it's a certain vehicle.
Yeah. It's not all of them. It's a specific vehicle. Yeah.
Well, that was different in this one too. I realized that when I got into a vehicle and it says, "Oh, now this is back at your garage." I'm like, "Oh, okay," because before you had certain agent vehicles and that was it, you know. And if you had the DLC, you got the buggy and a truck, you know. But you started off with an SUV and a base car, you know. So it was all right. I mean, Crackdown was always fun in a co-op environment. You know, I remember it was funny story with Crackdown 2 that came out. I had some buddies. We jumped in. It was 4-player for that one. And I had to go do something. I forgot what it was, but I put the controller down. And when I came back, 2 of the missions were already complete because they just went running to the objective. Then it doesn't force you to fly over there or do anything. You could just be standing still in one spot, and then they just run off and they complete the mission. And they just ran rampant, and they did all the missions. You know, and by the time I got to wherever they were, just to pick up scraps, I mean, it was over. That was funny. But now I don't know. You only have the 2 players. So did it tether you guys? Like if let's say
no tether.
There you go. So then I'm assuming that part can happen as well. Someone jumps into your world, they go off to do something else completely different than what you're doing. You're just both playing around in the same world. So
yeah. Okay. So what would you give it as a score based on what you played then?
As a score, man, going in with my expectations and everything, let's say if it was up to a 10, I'd give it a 7.
All right, so a 70 then. So you don't think it deserves a 60 then, right? You think that's
no.
low?
I give it a 7 only because what I'm going in for, I'm getting out of it. It's for the campaign and the co-op experience. Multiplayer, all that, I could care less. That wasn't a big
Brian,
part of it.
Brian, you caught him, right?
If that was a key part of the first one, then I would get it. If that multiplayer stuff, whatever, if that was a key element of the first one, and then that sucked.
Well, a key item of the first one was a Halo beta. We didn't get it here.
No. I didn't. For me, it was Crackdown. So, but since it does have the campaign, it does have the co-op, I can get my buddy, whatever, we could jump just like it was the first one, then it's okay. The second part, I don't care. It wasn't a key part of it for the first game for me, so.
Yeah. Okay. So I played it too, and you guys, I was not looking forward to it because it looked cheap from everything I seen, and Microsoft's marketing for it just felt off. But it was on Game Pass. I'm like, fuck it, I'll give it a try. And I was surprised how much I liked the game. It's very old school in a good way, like very simple. There's not a lot of fluff in there. Even though it's an open world with a bunch of like things in it, it doesn't feel so like oppressively huge, and it had that they need to make a word for it if it doesn't already exist, where like you get into a game and you just feel compelled to just pick up everything, like when you open up a bag of candy of a bag of chips, like you eat that one chip, like, oh, that shit is good, I want another one. Like the game does that with the fucking orbs. Like there's orbs everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's why I told you you would like the first one when you were doing the Mayhem one, the Agent of Mayhem. I'm like, you gotta play Crackdown. If you like Mayhem, you definitely like Crackdown.
Yeah, so and I like this Crackdown, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be here saying this is a system seller, AAA. None of it. No, it's not. But it's a fun game. It's a nice throwback game. And considering how I'm kind of getting annoyed with how massive new games are, this kind of simpler game spoke to me. And I again, my favorite part was just going around the world collecting orbs and gradually getting stronger. And the cool thing is, like, the stronger you get, your outfit keeps changing. Like, I look fucking boss right now, it's fucking dope. And the same thing with the mission structures, kind of like Assassin's Creed. You could do them very fast. So like, hey, I'll do that mission. Oh, that's over. I'll do the other mission. I'll do the other mission. I'll do the other mission. So like, I find like the first day, I remember I beat the game. I beat the whole fucking game already. The only thing that I could have been faster, and this goes to the co-op thing, because I play with Carlos, right? This is bullshit too. I went into Carlos's game, but my character was still as strong as he was in my game, right? But when I try to go back to my game, it was Carlos's game. So all my progress, all that shit got deleted.
It didn't carry over.
Yeah, like my character was still powerful. All the orbs I picked up are all still there, but every mission, all the bosses, they all came back. So I beat the game in about 16 hours. So you got to deduct about 4 hours from that, So that was kind of stupid. Yeah, like you need to make a separate save file. So if you're gonna play co-op, make a separate save file. People, keep that in mind.
That's because this game has the weird thing where your character has a save file and your map has a save file.
It's weird, yeah.
It's fucking weird. Like, so there's no cross progression within co-op. Like, so if you join someone else's game, you're never gonna get that progress in the story, or in the missions, or in any of that. Only your character gets progression, and yeah, that sucks. Like, what if you want to beat the whole game with your friend? Like, you can't really, like,
that does
beat it.
That was not an issue before.
Yeah, so I don't, and I've never experienced that in any game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like,
Far Cry did it. Which the new one, the latest one did it.
Oh, it does that too? Because I didn't play that with co-op with anybody.
Oh, I was hyped for it in co-op, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is not carrying over. And I was like, yeah, nope, that doesn't carry over your progression. Whoever's hosting gets all the missions completed. Whoever
but this is worse. This is erasing all my fucking progress.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. None of it carries over. So let's say if we decide we want to do one playthrough of Far Cry, right? And we want to do the whole thing together, Far Cry 5. If it was on my profile and we finished it, it only counts as being completed for me. If you go to jump in, you'll be back at mission 1.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it sucks. And it was like, people were like, oh, they'll fix that. Nope. That was it.
Yeah, but because I know a lot of people complaining about the game, saying that it's too much of a throwback. I can understand that, but for me, I kind of miss that, so I was fine with it. By the way, I got to do Glorious Wars comment here, and I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher this because the chat, because I had to refresh the chat, but he says that the reason that Microsoft was touting the 4K is because that's how many copies this game sold. He's not lying. By the way. No, that's how many copies the game sold in UK. By the way, it's only sold 4,000 copies.
That's like our Game Pass. It costs $1.
That's a good point. Yeah. And by the way, this goes back to what I was saying about before. I think Game Pass hurts these fucking games because no one's buying them.
No, because it's the whole subscription model. They all do it. Everybody does it. So $9.99. The plan is just like a Planet Fitness. It's like, hey, it's $9.99. You sign up on it, and let's say you don't cancel it. There's some new games that's $20, $30. It starts adding up, and it surpasses the cost of the.
But this game wasn't going to sell regardless.
Oh, but anyway, yeah. So again, I like Crackdown, but it's not like a mind blowing game. It's a very fun game to play over the weekend. So I'm with Adam, 70 out of 100. I think that's a fair score.
As I said on our stream that we did for that game is essentially the Gravity Rush of Xbox. Just like Gravity Rush, cool game, but not a system seller. Same thing with a Crackdown. The only misfortune that Crackdown had is that it was because of all the cancellations and things that they did, it was installed as the game.
They propped it up like it's and by the way, just to be fair, because I know motherfuckers gonna come at us, Sony did the same thing with No Man's Sky. That is not a game that was prime time. Crackdown is not prime time. And I'm gonna say it right now, if Xbox actually had some big time exclusives, Crackdown would be reserved. That's just like, hey, you like Crackdown? Check it out. They wouldn't be putting it up there on a pedestal.
I think the original plan, they wanted to make it that big, but then that's why I kept having the delays. They realized we can't do it. We can't make it what we think we want it to do with the indestructible world. All this.
Oh, by the way, Adam, you'll appreciate this. You know what I enjoy too? The Chivos, man. I was getting a bunch of them. This game just throws them at you, son.
Yeah. It's one of those. Just play. That's all it is. Just play, collect orbs, and get it. Nothing crazy. Nothing like making you go way out of your way to do something you normally wouldn't do.
Play, collect, share.
Yeah, play, collect, share. Anyway, Carlos, what are your thoughts? Because you have a different perspective on this.
Well, I don't know. Like, I still would give it around the same score, but I don't feel as buttery and fucking and beautiful as you guys have heard.
But it's not buttery though. It's like when you go to the store, you buy a good sandwich. The sandwich is good, not great, but it gets the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Let's say you want to go, Carlos. Let's just say you only have a certain amount of time. You just feel like jumping in a game. Don't want to care about a story. You just want to go shoot shit, jump around. This is it. And that's what I used to do with that. I would just put on some music, run around, try to collect orbs and stuff, and then that's it, and then put it down.
I just had to make that correction because I'm not flowery about the game. I'm just saying, hey, it's a Subway sandwich. It's a 7-Eleven sandwich. It's good, but it's not great.
It's a 7-Eleven sandwich that you're paying gourmet price for.
That's is it though? Is it though? Are you paying gourmet?
No.
Well, 60 like. This is how I was going to start.
How much did you pay for Crackdown? You paid the same price I paid for Crackdown.
But that still does not negate the fact that this is a $60 game.
Yeah,
and this is a really, really. This is what I'll say. This is a really, really good $30 game. A really, really good $30 game.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Actually, what Carlos used, I think that's might be more of an interesting take. All right, Adam, we both gave it a 70, right? What if you paid $60 for it? Does that change your score? Because I think it would change my motherfucking score. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay. I
would change my motherfucking score. I would drop. I wouldn't say 60. That's crazy. 65. Because $60 for this game, nah, son.
No.
Yeah, because I would give it a 60, 65 around that range because it's just it's a fun game, but it doesn't really it's not that deep. I think the best part of it is the orb system, because it makes you like sort of, it's the addicting part of the game. The shooting mechanics are really bad.
What?
But they're not.
They're bad. How are they bad? Because the lock on.
The lock on system is horrible.
I thought it was fine. It was fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
You can't. You when you lock on, you have to unlock in order to lock into someone else. You can't move
Oh,
between
yeah,
locks.
but that's how it used to be, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, shit progresses. Like this is outdated.
They didn't. Yeah, but that's what we were saying. It's like it's.
That's how it used to be. I can't complain about that. You know?
It's my. I mean, it's my.
Yeah, that's true. Go ahead. I just wanted to say I don't agree with that part. But anyway, keep going.
I mean, I want to ask a question about deepness. So, I mean, what do you mean by deepness? Because does just because how deep a game, does that also warrant price? That's a bit subjective.
Well, this is a subjective opinion.
So, I mean, what were you expecting from a Crackdown game? I just want to ask that sort of question.
Nothing, but I'm comparing it to other games. Like that's how I give it a rating. Like
the only other game I know that's like this in this genre that came out recently is that Agents of Mayhem.
If the only game that existed before this was Pong, then this would be 100.
Oh, you can't compare all games like that. Come on now.
No, I feel like it's. I mean, I want to be seen like I'm, protecting the game, but I just feel like at the same time, it's like it already is an established series, so it's probably going to be around the same sort of thing, just kind of shined up a little bit better, and that's pretty much what it is, right?
But I'm obviously not deducting that many points if the only difference between mine and Tony's score is like 5 to 10 points. Like, so I'm obviously not saying makes this game like a shitty game, because by no means is this a bad game. It's just to me there's no depth in the story, there's no depth in the gameplay. It's just like Tony mentioned, it's and Adams mentioned it too. It's sort of like a plug and play or whatever. I don't know how to say it, but it's like you just start it, you don't think about anything, and you're done with your day. Like
it's a bag of potato chips, bro. It's Lay's potato chips.
A bag of potato chips, exactly. You know? Yeah,
like that shit ain't fulfilling, but it tastes good for the moment, you know.
Yeah. So it's good for what it is. But like I mentioned, there's a lot of issues that I had with like the frame rate issue. So I was playing it on PC, and I was playing it on 1440p, and I couldn't get a stable frame rate. Like I didn't get 60. It was an ultra settings, which was what was suggested by the machine, and it had its own FPS counter, and it was like from 30 to 60 frames. It just varied really bad on my machine. My PC is pretty sick, 1080 Ti, but I lowered it down. So I'm like, okay, let me put it high. See if any improvement. No improvement. Lowered it to medium. No improvement. Lowered it down to low. No improvement. So there was an issue there on the PC version, but I noticed that when I played it on my Xbox One X, no issues whatsoever. 40 frames, 4K, 60 frames per second. Perfect.
Probably. So, I mean, it also had a frame rate lock on them, I'm guessing, right?
60, yeah. So yeah, like that, like I mentioned, the shooting mechanics were I mean, to me they were pretty bad. I mean, there's not much you can do with them, but that's not my style of shooting mechanics that I prefer. And but like I mentioned earlier, the orb collection is really fun, and that's the best part of the game, and that's the part that would keep me going if I were to keep playing this game. So yeah. 60, 65 is what I would give it.
I want to read this comment from Mr. Glorious War. He goes, Crackdown 3's core gameplay loop is stuck on early last generation. The problem is that other games have done better since the first Crackdown. That's a valid point, but like I said, me personally, I like the fact that it reminded me of an earlier game. You know, like I appreciated that, but at the same time, I fully understand why someone would not like that. So I can see both sides. Like I was talking, by the way, shout out to my man Danny Pena. We did a little something for Gamertag Radio, and I said, like, objectively speaking, I totally understand why people would not like a throwback game. Personally speaking, I like that, you know, but it's two different things. I just want to get that out there. Also, quick thing, Manny, this is a comment to you. If you don't mind, I'm going to let you answer it, obviously, but I want to answer for you first, if that's okay. Because I know the way your mind works, my friend.
Yeah, sure.
He goes, Manny, bro. This from Glory Story. He goes, Manny, Gravity Rush is unique compared to Crackdown 3. Manny wasn't talking about uniqueness. He just said the level of hype or its stance on the podium for the type of game.
Yeah,
he wasn't talking about uniqueness.
No, Gravity Rush is unique, but at the same time, it is not a system seller. If Sony even knew this when they put out the game for both the Vita and for the PlayStation 4. The thing is, it's not like that. That's the thing. That lies the problem. It's like it's a game. Crackdown is a game that is supposed to be one of those sorts of middle of the road sort of experiences. Something that gets the job done. It's a fun experience, but it's not out there to kind of blow your mind away.
Oh, and by the way, we haven't mentioned this yet, Tony.
Excuse me?
You can't play multiplayer with other people at launch.
We gotta address the elephant in the room, people. Yes,
that's. I'm being freaking like. What do you say? I'm being like generous by giving it a 60 because that's a fucking huge thing.
Yeah, like for me, obviously, I don't give a fuck about the multiplayer. I'm not touching that, but you're right about that's a big thing because we tried to do that during the stream. Remember, we tried to do that,
Yep.
And then we had to do co-op, which is bullshit because both me and Carlos were playing on our PCs and we were stuck at 30 frames a second. Like I'm playing that shit buttery smooth on my joint, But then I go to co-op, it's all like, like what the fuck, man,
Both me and Tony have really good PCs.
And the synchronization on that was really weird. The elevator and stuff was all acting like a lot of stuff in the game was all acting really weird.
Yeah, but yeah, again, I think Crackdown would have been better received if it was marketed the way it should have been marketed, the way Gravity Rush was marketed. Hey, this is a nice game. Check it out. Why not?
I think that's what it is, and I think it really needed to have some of those bigger titles sitting around it. Like you have. Gravity Rush got released, in a pretty funky area where it's like there's all these larger titles that are coming or had been released, so it had a nice little place. Crackdown was literally like sitting in the ocean. They just dropped it in the middle of the ocean, and there was nothing around it to kind of help.
Really, the same day that came out, Far Cry New Dawn came out, Metro came out. They had a bunch of big games.
They also, again, they just dropped it in the ocean.
Jump Force.
Like
I'm
talking about like games within the Xbox thing, like those are all just multi-platform sort of games. But I'm talking about like other games that some other specific Xbox titles that could sit around.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And like okay, you have the superstars, and then you have your TV stars. Crackdown is your TV. Crackdown is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Halo is the Marvel Cinematic
Avengers.
Universe. Yeah, it's Avengers.
But yeah, man, okay. So Crackdown is Scott Baio, and God of War is fucking like Tom Hanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Well, it's the whole thing.
It's like if you watch Stargate, and you watch Stargate the movie, and you see, hey, it's Kurt Russell that's in it, and then when you get it on the TV, it's MacGyver. Crackdown is MacGyver. The bigger titles are like.
I really liked MacGyver though.
I like MacGyver
I
too.
love Richard Dean Anderson. I loved Richard Dean.
No, that's what I'm saying. Nobody really seems to be coming to the defense of Crackdown. Like nobody's like, oh, I fucking love Crackdown. I think Crackdown is Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
Wait.
Everyone's like universally. Everyone's like, yeah, all right.
Wait, hold on, Brett. Which Steven Seagal? Early 90s Steven Seagal or current Steven Seagal?
Crazy guy Steven Seagal.
Yeah, because early 90s Seagal was the man,
just like from when I saw the guys playing it, I'm like, hey, this looks like Crackdown. I'm not opposed to that. I saw Adam playing it years back, and I was like, okay, this feels like if you took the idea of the original Crackdown games, kind of like gave it prettier graphics. And there you go. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do.
But they propped the game up though. That's the problem.
But the way they kind of, because of how many years, dude, this game was literally announced close to when the launch of the Xbox was first came out, right? Like like when they first talking about games, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Year 2, right?
Yeah, they had
second year. Yeah,
the second year, pretty much the same year that Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think
So it's like it took them that year, that long, and all the hype and all the thing, power of the cloud, all the buzzwords again. It really didn't help the situation.
I do find it interesting that none of us even talked about that. That's the biggest thing about the game, supposedly. So I didn't even experience that shit because it's relegated only to multiplayer.
The power of the cloud.
The destructible environments.
There's no destructible environments in this fucking game. Not really. Not any that aren't pre-scripted.
In the campaign, I didn't notice it.
That's what I'm saying. They're not there.
Wow.
Like it's just regular video game explosions and shit.
They kind of went on the DL. They kind of went on the DL and just said, "All right, we're just going to drop that feature because it's not working."
Well, they said
but they promoted it.
They promoted the fuck out of it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it looks like the only way you can get that feature now is in that weird multiplayer.
Yeah, but I do want to state that Brett, that's a very good point you brought up. That me and Adam, we like the game, but we're not gonna die on a hill for it either. It is what it is, man. It's a bag of chips.
It's exactly what I figured it would be after they said, "Hey, we're not doing all the other stuff we talked about doing."
So, Adam, did you buy it or did you use the pass?
I have the Game Pass.
Oh, yeah. So here's another thing that I noticed. That, like, I also noticed that
I would not have paid $60. No.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, no way.
So would you be? I mean, as of now, would you be as forgiving with this game if you did have to pay $60?
No, I wouldn't.
Right? You wouldn't have paid.
Fuck no, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be as forgiving.
So in general, a lot of the sentiment is actually coming from sort of the side that you kind of got the game for a deal.
Yeah. Even I got the second one. I waited till it was like Black Friday, and it was like $20 or something. Then I got it. I refused to pay.
I'd like to hear the perspective of folks who've actually bought the game for $60.
Oh, yeah. Did they get anything?
We got to find those 4,000 people somewhere.
Yeah, we got to find those. I also think, and this is, I also think this is.
Excuse me.
I also think and this is just a speculation. I think the reason why this thing is on Game Pass is because Microsoft does not have that much faith.
To be fair, Microsoft said all their games are going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah, they're going to be all down there. But I feel like there's no quims about this one. They're like, hey, yeah, we'll just throw it on there.
Oh man! All right, I want to move on. We still got more questions here. By the way, Glorious Source says, "Why isn't anyone talking about the downgrade for this game?" Good point.
Why isn't anybody talking about that? You know why? Because nobody cares. It's literally not at the forefront of anybody's mind. The game is, from what I can see, is a passable game. But again, it's like, no, it's not up there. If they did it to a Halo game, then people would fucking losing their minds. Like a really anticipated sort of game.
Oh man! All right, moving on here. Okay. Have you ever not cared at all for a game's story and skipped cutscenes just because you like the gameplay? I've done it to Celeste. Carlos, I'm going right to you, man.
I do it to most games because most games' stories are shit. And
that sounds like a Brian comment. It's like Brian's talking through your lips.
I've known Brian for a couple of years now. He rubs off on people.
I can imagine him saying that.
Well, it's like, I mean, Crackdown's story is like, come on. Anthem, like we were playing Anthem, it's like, come on, you're just regurgitating the same old tropes that every other fucking game does. It's like, I'm tired of listening to this bullshit. I just want to fucking shoot shit and be done with it.
Yep. So, Brian, do you feel that same way?
Only half so. So I only do it on second time round, never the first time. Which is why I always lament games for not having that feature. Like, if you don't allow me to skip the cutscenes, then that's bad game design.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Like, it's really dumb. Like, again,
replay.
It's all, and I totally understand that they put a lot of time, a lot of effort for it, and I'm more than willing to watch it first time round with no issues. But then, if I'm going through like a playthrough 2, then I already know what's going to happen. So just allow me to skip it, and then I'll be good. Like with the Anthem demo, when you talked to that chick by the mech suits, like first time round, I listened to what she had to say, and it's all in its entirety. Second time around, I'm like, no, I know what you're going to say. Skip this. Just let me get to what I need to do. So that's where I stand.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm playing something like God of War or Mass Effect or Final Fantasy, then I'm not skipping anything.
Yeah,
But
for
that's
me,
because
like,
I know they're gonna their stories have something that I'm interested in, not generic bullshit.
Yeah. For me, most of the time, since I'm buying a game for the story, I'm not going to skip cutscenes, but I'm with Brian 100%. It's like, because I'm playing the second time around, I'm probably trying to get their, trophies or whatever. So you better let me skip that shit. There's been very few times in my life where I'm playing, because there's been several times where I played a game, I'm like, the story's stupid, but I'm like, but I have no choice. I got to watch this shit, The most recent time in my life where I was very tempted to skip cutscenes, but I didn't, was Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. Very tempted, but I'm like, Tony, no, you're riding this horse to the end, motherfucker. You're going to watch all them incomprehensible cutscenes.
I mean, to be honest, the cutscenes within the worlds of the Disney worlds are fine.
Those are fine. It's the other shit. Like, I'm going to be honest right now. The last third of the game where it's nothing but Kingdom Hearts shit, I'm like, oh my God. But I had no choice but to stick with it,
When the nobodies combined their powers with the somebodies.
Yeah, but second time around, like, it's, again, because I'm playing a second time around, it's because I'm trying to, get shit done. So skip those cutscenes. I hate it when you, and by the way, just a little throw in there too, I also hate it when you can't pause cutscenes. It's like, yo, what if something's happening? And you always notice there's always something happens around you during a cutscene.
Yeah.
I hate when you go to pause a cutscene and it skips it.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me. That happened to me.
I get paranoid. My yoke. If I pause this, it's just gonna skip it. So you're like paranoid and shit. Oh, that's even worse. Because what if you want to watch the cutscene?
By the way, also, like, and this is what I love about this generation. Press the PS button.
Sometimes I work and sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Because
there are games that have no pause. The Division has no pause.
Yeah, like Carlos. There's been some games where I do that and it just keeps going. It just keeps going.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
It's not universal. It happens to some games, but not to all of them. So just be careful about that.
By the way, quick shout out to Fergus Mills, and this is just going back to the last topic, but it's a funny comment. Put Crackdown 3 on Switch and watch it sell 5 million.
Shit, man.
Oh, shit.
Wow. By the way, no one asked us a question about that. Actually, they did ask us a question about that. Carlos, keep a mental note about that shit. We got a question about that related to that. I'm just going to go down the line. Fuck that. Adam, do you skip cutscenes?
It depends if I've already done it. I usually don't skip cutscenes if it's my first go around. But if I'm going to see it again, yeah, I'll just skip it if I can. Hopefully, some games don't let you skip it.
Yeah. Brett.
Nah, I generally don't. Even if it's cool, I'll watch it multiple times.
Yes.
If basically yeah, like in games where you had the reveal of like the boss, and the boss is like this little mini cutscene like Monster Hunter and shit. Like, I'll always let that shit play, even if it's like the 12th time. It's just cool.
I agree with that. Chris.
No, only if I'm doing like a second run or speed run do I skip scenes. But generally, I like to see the story. I mean, even I'm not gonna know it's shit unless I watch it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then I just try to, like you do, I just power through it. The second time, I'm gonna skip it. If it's shit, I'm especially gonna skip it. But the first time I watch it,
I'm thinking about Castlevania Lords of Shadow. That was another one. Like, oh my god, these fucking cutscenes.
Yeah.
But I powered through it.
Yeah,
I powered
all
through
of them,
it,
man.
And Mr. Emilio's.
Yeah, I agree with the most of the room. It said, yeah, just first time around, I don't skip the cinematics. Second time around, I'll probably just run through everything and just do choice cuts. Like, hey, I remember that one being a really cool one. I'll just jump into that one, stuff like that. Ooh. But here's a fun thing. You could have skipped all the cinematics in Kingdom Hearts and then watched them all in the cinematic mode.
Yes, that is true. By the way, I appreciate when games do that. They have like all the cinemas collected, because what if their cinema's really cool?
What if you want to watch them again?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, there was a game, I forgot what it was, but not only did it have the mode, but it let you play it all like a movie.
Oh, that's interesting.
It'll come.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That I've seen that before too.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, okay, start from the beginning and it just plays it all through.
It's very interesting. All right, where
Really?
the
Didn't Metal Gear do that for PS3?
no, I didn't do that.
No.
I mean, it
Oh,
had.
no. Well, they did have a cinematic mode, like in the later Subsistence had a thing where you could literally watch the whole game.
Oh,
the whole
okay.
cinematics in the game. But yeah, but not in the original one.
All right, let's move on here to Mr. G Megaforce 123. So his first question is, this is an interesting one. What is your biggest video game mystery? What is something that has happened in a video game that you've never been able to find a good answer for? It is completely inexplicable. For me, it is in Final Fantasy Tactics for the PS1. During the opening text crawl after the prologue, the dialogue slows down when the words "little money" appear. I have never understood why this happens. It almost seems like the developers were subtly trying to talk about their pay. So yeah, what's a video game mystery where years later you're like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm going to jump in right now because I don't want anyone taking my answer. What the fuck was up with that human Sonic the Hedgehog at the end of Sonic CD? Like that muscly motherfucker? Like what the hell is that?
That was not at the end. That was an Easter egg.
Yeah, I was like what is that? Like we remember, Manny, back in the day, like we had so many like theories about what that could be. That werewolf Sonic Hedgehog or whatever.
All it was really just a Batman reference. That's all it was. It was just a fun little Easter egg they threw in the game. There's all these goofy like Easter eggs they put in the game.
Yeah,
so that was all it was.
Yeah, that for me that was a big one for years. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like what?
Yeah, and then it had that music.
Yeah, like what is going on? Oh man, what about you, Mr. Manny? What's a gaming mystery that you haven't had an answer to yet?
A gaming mystery? I mean, so far everything kind of explains itself, right? But excuse me. I do. Here's the one thing that it's like a sort of weird glitch that happened. And this is in every single version of Metal Gear Solid 2. So when I bought Metal Gear Solid 2 originally, my game did not go past the tanker sequence. It would freeze after Revolver Ocelot would say, "No, I'm taking it back." But for some reason in the game, it would like skip the dialogue, be like, "No, I'm taking it back." Then the game would freeze after that. So every single copy that I picked up, it kept on doing that. And then when they re-released it or they fixed it, it still said that, but sounded like a glitch, but it wasn't. it's that was the one weirdity, and it's in every version of the game, even the one later, like in the HD remasters, it's in there too. But they actually put subtitles to it, so it sounds like an audio glitch to me. But it's not. That's the confusing thing.
All right, Chris.
Well, are we counting glitches? Because I have a doozy where I returned the game 3 times because I thought they were fucking defective. So remember the PS2 had a DVD remote, and you could stick the receiver in like the second controller port. Well, I didn't know this, but Prince of Persia had a huge bug that if you had that dongle in there, the game would never get past the start menu. So I bought the game, I put it in, and the motherfucker's running like, you know how you could control him on the start menu, kind of like an Easter egg, you could make him jump around and stuff. So he was always running and I wasn't controlling him and I couldn't get past the menu. So I took the game back to GameStop, got another one, put it in, same shit happened. Like, what the fuck is going on? Took it back. I was like, yo, your disc is defective or something like this. I can't get the game to start. I don't know what's going on. And eventually I figured it out. I pulled the dongle out. The game worked just fine. So that was really weird to me, where I wasted like a couple trips to GameStop for no reason when all I had to do was pull the DVD remote thing out of the PlayStation and the game worked.
Yeah,
but no other game had that issue.
Yeah, so that was the mystery. Is like, what the hell's going on? But any like in-game mysteries that you're like, why did that happen?
Well, one that was big, like I know a famous old school gaming thing that people didn't know was in Castlevania 2. This lady told you had to hit your head against a rock to pass it, right? That makes no sense because you can't hit your head on anything. And I had to read Nintendo Power, where they told you actually have to kneel next to this cliff with this holding this crystal, and a tornado will come and carry you to the next area, right? But there was no way to know that from the in-game dialogue. Like there was nothing there to tell you. If you didn't read that Nintendo Power, you had no clue, or a buddy tells you. That was it. You were screwed. It's like hit your head against a rock. What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, that's old school shit right there, where they don't tell you nothing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, Carlos, what's a gaming mystery for you?
One that comes to my mind is there's this map in Halo 3, I think, where if you glitch out of the map and go to the top of a building, you can see you have to take a sniper rifle with you, and you look at the Halo, right? And if you zoom in like enough, you can see. I think it was Frank O'Connor, one of the people that was involved in Bungie with Bungie and stuff like that. So I always wonder like what the story behind that was. Like I'm pretty sure it's just an Easter egg, but like I'm just interested in why they decided to put like I think it was two heads of two people, but yeah. Other than that, I'm not too sure what else could be considered a mystery.
All right, Brian.
I've been trying to think of something, but I don't have anything.
All right, you want me to come back to you, or you just don't have anything? Period.
Just skip me.
All right, no, fair enough. Brett.
Oh man, other than half of Dark Souls,
you
know, one of the big things, and I'm not sure if this is the right way to answer the question, because it's definitely not the way you guys did. The biggest mystery that I know in gaming and has forever been, well, there's a couple of them. What happened to Europe in Fallout? Like, it's kind of there, it's kind of not there. Like, it's there. There are characters from there, but you don't know how the fuck transatlantic passage works or anything like that. So that'd probably be the one I go with.
Well, I mean, like in Fallout, it's like, what the hell happened in fucking Texas? I always wondered that. I'm like, what's going on in Texas right now or in Mexico? That should just be. I wish there was just more Fallout games just to make different places during the Fallout.
Right, and what's outside the world in Portal, or what's outside the testing lab in
Portal? That's a gaming mystery right there.
Well, isn't that in the world of Half-Life?
They kind of, but you don't know when time-wise. Like,
you could be further than Half-Life.
Yeah, I think Gabe Newell gave it away that it's like really in the future. Like Chell is thousands of years in the future of Gordon Freeman when his stuff is happening.
Oh shit!
That's how long she's been in stasis, but in Portal 2.
That's crazy. All right, Adam.
Go ahead. Can I help Brian out with a mystery that I have? This is a Brian mystery. What the F is up with your Warframe account?
I don't know. I'll find out. Well, I will let you know when I find out.
All right, that's when the mystery will be solved. Okay, thanks.
Fuck. All right, Adam.
I think from what caused the zombie outbreak in Left 4 Dead. It was just there. It was just happening, and everyone's freaking out. I don't know what caused it. I don't think they ever answered, because there's always a backstory of something of some sort. Was it a government experiment gone wrong or something? I mean, who knows?
It's you ever notice that like in zombie things in general, they don't actually give you a full-on explanation. Like you don't know why Night of the Living Dead happened.
Yeah, we do. Because it was
no, you don't.
The canisters. Remember those canisters? That's
Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
That's might or may not be as me or may
broke
not
the
be
Romero rule. They explain it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for most zombie things, they don't actually give you a reason. Like if you Day of the Dead, a lot of those things they don't actually say it. They just say, "Okay, zombies exist."
The Walking Dead sort of did in the first season.
They gave you
in the books they don't though. It's just like, hey, zombies are here. Yeah, they're right. Not Carlos, the Romero rule. It's like, don't explain what the zombies are. They just exist.
Yeah, so Resident Evil breaks the Romero rules.
Oh,
like
yeah.
T-virus. They go.
In most video games they kind of do it, but in classic zombie films they don't actually say how the pandemic happens.
Brett, you say you don't like that, do you?
No, I fucking hate that shit.
Which is interesting because you like zombies stories, but you don't like the core, one of the core tenets of zombie stories, that you don't explain how it happened. It is
a random trope that's associated with it. No, there's nothing fundamental about not explaining that shit to zombies. Like, I get that it's a Romero rule, but there's no good reason for it to be there. It's lazy storytelling that's somehow attached itself. Like,
no, it's not lazy storytelling. It's officially obviously it's pretty much unimportant at that point in time. Really, what the story is the story of the people and their survival. It's not
about story.
Not about whatever caused it. Unless that's the type of story that you're telling. Okay, if in the case of Resident Evil, they're giving you specific reasons why a lot of the sort of the outbreak happened.
Yeah,
but the classic Romero and the guy who essentially created zombie films, that's essentially what you did. You're just like, okay, the story is not really about the zombies. The zombies are a force.
Well, yeah, but that's only because Romero films only take a very thin slice of time. It's not when things are about to hit the fan or hitting the fan. It's right after shit. It's right after shit hit the fan, but before anybody cares. Like, the natural end result of any zombie story is going to be a cure, and to understand a cure, you have to understand the source. So it works in a Romero style zombie movie, but anything with a timeline extended beyond that, like, it's kind of dumb. And when I say dumb, I don't. In this instance, I hate Lady and the Tiger type shit. I hate the whole, like, is it A or B? We'll leave it up to you. I'm like, no, motherfucker, you're the one. You were literally the one writing the story. That's you don't give me your shot. It's like going into fucking McDonald's and be like, I want a burger, and they're like, well, we're gonna let you cook it. No fucking thank you. That's why I came here.
That's very interesting because you're the guy that likes to make up your own stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, see, this thing. If you're going to tell me a story, finish it. If you're going to give me a narrative playground in which I tell my own story, don't butt in. It's leave the two pretty fucking separate. Like, don't let me believe I'm crafting my own narrative experience, then lead me to an ending that's one of 3 different fucking colors. That shit pisses me off so bad.
Interesting. All right, let's move on here. Where the hell are we? Okay, what is the last game that what's the last game that made you wish you played it sooner?
So it's saying like you didn't play it at launch?
Yeah, you didn't play it at launch, and yeah.
Oh, I got the answer.
All right, go ahead.
Go for it.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, yeah. You missed out on the conversations, man.
I missed out on the conversations. I missed out on the hype, and now I can't really get back into it. So it's like,
don't feel bad, Carlos, because I only started like a few seconds of the game. And I'm like, oh, this is too much. I'm gonna go play Kingdom Hearts now.
Damn, Kingdom Hearts.
Hold on.
I was waiting for Kingdom Hearts. For Red Dead, I'm like, okay, I like the original one, but I mean, like, just hearing how long, how involved the damn game is, I kind of got anxiety from it.
Oh, I know a lot of people that gave up just because it was like there's too much going on in the world. So I'm like, just focus. Just focus.
I was just, I'm gonna play that after I finish Kingdom Hearts. I really wanted to play that Red Dead. I'm like, all right, I'll leave that on the back burner until I'm ready.
You know how bad my situation is? I finished Resident Evil 2 and I'm like, oh, I should get back to some of the games that I haven't played. I fucking bought and downloaded freaking Dragon Quest 11. So I'm going to play that now. So Red Dead Redemption, I don't even know when that's ever going to get.
By the way, I think this speaks to me being probably hungry right now because I just keep thinking about food references. Manny literally went, "No, that 64-ounce steak is too much for me to handle. I'm gonna eat that other 64-inch, pound steak instead." Like you went from one huge game to another one.
No. That is it's a little bit of a difference because Kingdom Hearts is not nearly as long as Red Dead.
It's not, but it's I would say it's more dense than Red Dead. Narratively, it's like what the fuck?
I'm already.
Red Dead is simple. It's these motherfucking outlaws.
I'm already along for the ride, and it was the game that I really wanted to play. And I, again, I don't have a lot of time to be playing games. So if I'm gonna play the game, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go and eat the really good tasting meal as opposed to just the huge quantity meal. You know what I mean? It's like the difference between like, hey, you go to a steakhouse and then you can get the big unbelievable steak. Yes, yes, it'll fill you up right away, but it's so much fucking steak, you'll still have some left over. For the Kingdom Hearts, it's like, yeah, it's a good steak. It's it's good. It sits there.
Can I just remark how weird it is that we've gotten to the point where we're like, you know what? I don't have time for a big, long, heavy game or a lot of content, so I'm just gonna go play this JRPG instead.
Hey, listen. Traditionally, the JRPG games were the long haul game.
They still are.
Not anymore.
All the Western games were the short ones. It was like, hey, that was a good McDonald's meal, a good little McDonald's meal, or a nice little hamburger from someplace.
Well, when most games are like 12 hours, and Red Dead comes along and throws yes, I'd like a steak, please, and somebody just throws a whole butchered cow onto your table. You're like, Jesus Christ!
Red Dead is like, you remember in Flintstones when he goes to the drive-through, you freaking put the rib on his side.
That's Red Dead.
Yeah, that's Red Dead. Bam! Drop that rib and then friggin' tips the car over. That's what Red Dead is.
It's the rib from the Flintstones.
It's the giant rib from the Flintstones.
Man, he's like, yo, I'm not trying to eat that Brontosaurus ribs right now, man.
Dude, I'm
gonna eat this Velociraptor instead.
And I mean, I just needed something. I also wanted to have something a bit lighter. Red Dead's very, serious, and not very, the main story is very serious. The side stuff is all kind of goofy and, satirical. But I kind of wanted something a little bit more cartoony and fun to play, and then I can roll back into a Red Dead. I mean, officially, I don't know what the next thing I'm going to be playing is. Maybe that it's Red Dead.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, what the fuck was the question? I'm thinking about the ribs right now.
Yo, man, I got some real.
Oh yeah. Games that you wanted to get to but didn't originate. Chris, what's the game that you wanted to get to sooner?
I honestly don't have a good answer for this one. Maybe Halo 5 Guardians before Richard reviewed it and totally ruined it for me. I went, well, I'm gonna pass on this one. I actually got the game and then I read his review and then he came on the show and talked about it and I went, you know what? I'm moving on. I should have played it first and then experienced it and then read what he had to say and then talked to him. But I did the other two first. So I was like, fuck it.
All right, Adam.
Damn, me. I play them all. I don't really have any that I could say, damn, I wish I went back to that. And oh man, I don't. Yeah, there's no franchise that's like that. I mean, maybe. Oh well, I can go way back then.
Yeah, go to the old school, man.
God of War 2. I didn't play that when it first launched. And it wasn't until Manny, when you got me, what was that, Christmas, my birthday, whatever, he got me a PS2.
Yeah, because you were all about the Xbox,
the
Xbox 360 life.
Yeah, and I wanted to. I was like, you know what? I was like, I regret not playing that game, God of War 2. And when you got me that with God of War 2, and then I played, I was like, shit, this is awesome. But then again, it wasn't spoiled. I mean, the internet wasn't what it is today.
No,
so I didn't.
Yeah. The algorithms are exactly like checking out your different things. So you're like, you'll see essentially you do a search for God of War, then it's like the first thing you see is the ending.
Yeah, so it wasn't that, but I remember playing it. I was like, shit. I was like, this is awesome. It's like, I should have been playing this when it came out, but I mean, it was nothing was spoiled for me.
You were up on Xbox Live.
Yeah, I was in Xbox land.
All right, Brett.
I'm having trouble answering this question. This is like a weird humble brag, but I've kind of been interested in gaming and like the news of gaming and whatnot for so long that I don't remember the last time something completely passed me by. I mean, I will say, yeah, I don't have anything recent, but I was late to the party on the first Dark Souls, which it's not just an opportunity for me to talk about Dark Souls. It was legitimately, it made the game twice as difficult, because from there on out, it was jolly cooperation, everybody helping each other. Man, I came out on the back end when everybody was just getting bored, waiting for the DLC to come out, just hanging out, murdering noobs. So that fucking game made me a man. But it would have been a little bit more fun to play through and have that original experience the same way everybody else did.
Yeah. For me, the first BioShock. I wish I played that at launch. I played it like 5-6 years after it came out, and I'm like, what's the big deal about this fucking game? It's just like it's just taking pieces from everything else. But obviously, what I fail to realize is like, yo, all that shit that you see in BioShock that you think is derivative, all the games got from BioShock, that generation. So, but yeah, I didn't really connect with the story, the characters, even the end. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I just did.
Did you get the good ending, or
I got the good ending when he was in the hospital and stuff with the girls. Yeah, all the girls, but I don't know. It just seemed like kind of boring. But again, if I had played it when it came out and I would have seen those revolutions like everybody else, I would probably had a different take on that. But
whoa.
What?
Oh, I didn't actually expect that to work. Okay, so question. The atmosphere, the story, and the art direction are some of the huge pillars that game is built on. And I don't know that anybody's really even outdone them on that front.
Really? Because when I with like art direction, I'm like, and it's purely because of the Unreal Engine. I'm like, it looks like an Unreal game. Like it looked like Batman Arkham to me, because it was also ran on the Unreal. Like those heavy uses of green and shit. It was all over the place in BioShock, but I probably would have been more blown away if I had not experienced that in the Batman Arkham game already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then also obviously, the little audio logs throughout the whole game.
I didn't even bother with those.
You don't like the Big Daddy?
Okay, that's why you have no idea what the hell was going on, and possibly one of the reasons why you didn't enjoy the story.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with it. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just here to shoot shit.
Story.
Yeah, it added a lot of creepy elements to it.
Yeah.
Well, also, when you, as I remember talking from when I talked to you at the time, I remember you talking about those audio logs, and you also said that you would stop moving to listen to them.
I did that, but then okay, with the first once I did. But then I stopped because I'm like, I don't want to keep stopping the fucking game, Mm-hmm. Like, by the way, I appreciate that new games, they keep the audio logs going even if you're moving around. But yeah, I did that for the first couple of them. I would stop everything, listen to the audio logs. I'm like, all right, whatever, And then I just didn't bother with them eventually. So when the big twist happened, it's like, what the fuck is the line? It's like, please, maybe.
Kindly.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now. Yeah, there was some Ayn Rand shit going on. I noticed some of the phrases. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. But I think I probably would have been more blown away like 5 years before I actually played it. Again, if I could go back,
you still get the big twist though, right?
Yeah, the big twist is like, and that's what I didn't understand. And we could spoil it. The game's fucking old. Like basically, they throw you out of wherever the fuck the city is to come back and destroy it. I'm like, why did you need to send them out there? Just keep them in the city so you can destroy it.
Well, no, I think
it wasn't. No,
like that's how I took it. I was very confused by it. Yeah, I was very confused by the fucking game. So I was like,
that's not a wrong. Manny, you want to take this one?
I mean, the simple story is the fact that they didn't send you to come back. It was really somebody took you over and used this special line to kind of essentially have you come back and kill off the main guy.
But why not?
Candidate.
Yeah, but why send you away? That's the part I didn't understand.
Because like a Manchurian Candidate, you were brainwashed the entire time. Like you think you're the protagonist of the story. Yeah. You are the antagonist of the story. You destroy the city and kill the fucking Walt Disney of the new world. Like,
you're in a
like
bad game.
Yeah, that went completely over my head. That went completely over my head.
You do all of this because he says "would you kindly" as a trigger word, and everything you realize, like when he says that to you, you realize that every mission he gave you kind of ended with "would you kindly," and you've just been blindly going along doing all of these terrible things because somebody said the right thing to you, and then you realize that you as the gamer are participating in that exact activity by doing all of this horrible stuff and not even thinking about it just because it popped up on a menu and an arrow pointed you in a direction. It's a very self-reflective meta moment.
Yeah, which completely went over my fucking head.
Did you play the third one? Because that
one. Oh yeah, I love fucking Bioshock Infinite. That game was great. Yeah. I love that fucking game. You know, that game was fantastic. You know. Anyway, Brian, what game did you wish you played earlier?
It's Singularity, isn't it?
Not quite. I'd say the Metro games. Metro 2033. I wish I played that back at launch because, yeah, I would have been like more in love with the franchise than I already am. And yes, it's a shit answer, but again, I tend to play stuff whenever I feel like it anyway, and I don't listen to the hype, so I don't really have one that's like, oh yeah, I wish I would jumped on the hype on that because I don't really follow hype trains because it tends to just go off a cliff. So I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Now I'm thinking about the ending of Back to the Future 3 when the train goes off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Carlos, what game did you wish you played earlier?
I already went.
You already went? All right, cool. By the way, and last thing about Bioshock, that was still during my phase where I wasn't a fan of first-person shooter / games where you needed to control the character with 2 analog sticks. So that was the gameplay was frustrating me back then. You know, so that was also part of it. Like,
and not to mention also, like, I think it was the first time when you played. It was the first time it ever came to PlayStation 3, 2.
I bought it cheap though. I bought it for like $10. It was I bought it at GameStop for $10. You know. Okay, so that's also why I'm looking forward to playing Halo with Carlos, because I'm better equipped to play that game now than I was back then. Back then when I played, I did play a little bit of Halo. I'm like, you have to control the character with 2 analog sticks? What kind of bullshit is that? You know? So
it's funny to say now because
that's how you control every fucking game.
Started doing those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, like, but back then I was like, fuck this shit. I don't like controlling games like that.
Did you have a 64? I remember that was a big deal.
No, fuck that game. I didn't buy that.
64, and then having the stick in the middle and like, wow, I'm moving Mario like
nope,
this.
Never. I saw that. I mean, I'm not gonna get into N64 now, but the graphics and the gameplay in the control, I'm like, fuck that shit. You know, I don't regret it. All right, moving on here, Mr. Matt Wheaton. So he asked these for 2 questions, but I'm gonna combine them into one. What video game characters would you consider to be incredible badasses? Which ones do you consider to be punk ass bitches?
Oh, come on. Solid Snake and Raiden.
You know, yo man, you trying to tell me that Raiden is a badass and Snake is a bitch? Yeah. That's a good one. I don't think I can top that one.
Yeah,
that's good. All right, Chris.
I was gonna say Dante's a badass, but I'm trying to think of a wuss in a game I've played recently. I circle back to me.
All right, Carlos.
How about I do this? The same answer for both. Kratos.
Oh shit! Damn. How is he a punk ass bitch?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he gets too much. Like he's just, I don't know. He let his mind get possessed so easily, and like all the stuff that he did, it's kind of like, I don't know. It was all his fault.
Yeah, but that doesn't make him a coward or anything or a pussy, you know.
I mean, but a punk ass bitch, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Brian.
I'm willing to say Kratos, because it's pretty much one of the most badass characters there will ever be. I mean, the dude just doesn't give a fuck. Like, he is like the literal definition of zero fucks given. It's like, Oh yeah, there's a thing there I need to kill. Okay, cool. I'm gonna kill everything in the pathway to that. I don't care if I know them or I don't know them, or even if they're family. I'm gonna kill the living crap out of them. And then when he's done, it's like, I'm bored now. I'm gonna start wars for the fun of it. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Punk ass bitch. I'm gonna, I, I'm gonna say Joel from Last of Us.
Oh,
Oh,
controversy.
Whoa.
Hey! I know. Brian hates that game, but I mean, would I disagree with it? I don't think I would.
It just
Really?
really got on my nerves. It's like, okay, look, I understand. Like, you took a massive loss and you're pissed and you're annoyed, but there's no need to keep being like this for this long. Like, I think after a certain point, there needs to be a part of you that says, okay, I need to move on and do something else.
Oh no, that wasn't my reasoning though.
To me, it felt like he was just like, oh yeah, I'm sad that my daughter died. Just like, yes, that's understandable, but you can't keep taking that out on everyone else. It's not fair.
Brian,
I was going to say for the last
quick,
decision he made.
Yeah. Quick question. Do you also have a problem with Batman?
No, because I consider that Batman is mentally ill.
Okay, fair enough. I'm like, hey man, get over this shit, you know?
No, he's got issues. I mean, the guy dresses up as a bat.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
also true. That is true.
Really, he does.
That's
a
big
I'm
no.
not the Joker with this one. Like, he deserves to be in Arkham Asylum. Like, with
Yeah.
the Joker.
Yeah, he kind
He
of
should be.
does.
Like, think about it. Like,
come
the
on,
fact that-
Tony.
No, I said he does. I agree with you. Brian. Think about it. He dresses up like a bat and beats the shit out of like mentally handicapped people. It's like, yeah, you need to be an Arkham. You know, it's crazy.
And he talking like this.
So, I mean, I'll forget it.
Go ahead, Adam.
So I was just thinking that we know that I don't know if you guys read the crossover comics between Batman and the Ninja Turtles.
No,
They did the 3-part. Well, now that's turning into a movie that's coming out this year, animated. But I'm like, man, what would be a cool conversation would be Casey Jones and Batman if they would talk, because they both got problems, you know, and they're both human. So I think that would be cool to see especially if they teamed up.
Hey, Lawbreaker.
Anyway, Adam, what's your answers for this one?
For me and Marcus Phoenix, Gears, that's the badass. He never gave a shit.
That's a good
he
one.
just ran out there and was like, we're gonna go cut through my chainsaw gun, my Lancer. He didn't give a shit.
Is that Marcus Phoenix or
No, I don't.
Randy Savage?
It's a combination. I can't do that. The Bender guy, he does an amazing voice with Marcus. I can't do it.
It's Bender.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the punk ass, the first thing that came up was Mr. Seattle with the beanie from the freaking what was the game? Oh man, I forgot the name already. I had it in my head. The PS3, PS4 exclusive. Remember it came up. It was a spin-off.
What, like
they used
yeah.
that turned into smoke. Oh, he was a fucking pain in the ass. You know what I'm talking about? Remember?
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
Not Cole McGrath, other
Cole. Remember Cole's replacement when they came out?
Infamous, right?
Infamous. There you go. Infamous. Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
Delson something?
Delson.
Delson. Yeah. PS4 game. I'm thinking about a PS3 game, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I said. PS4.
No, you said PS3.
No, he said both. He said PS3.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
From 3 to 4, and they changed it. They moved away from Cole. I just forgot the name of the
I got you.
But he was a douche. I couldn't connect at all. I was like, I don't even want to play as you. I was like, this isn't fair. Why can't I just pick somebody? Is this gonna switch? Am I gonna switch at some point?
Oh my God. It's like Connor.
Oh,
that's a good
motherfucker! He took my answer. Anyway, Brett, go ahead, man.
Funny enough, that actually wasn't my answer.
Okay, that was yay.
I'm gonna keep it old school. OG Samus for the badass, and the punk ass bitch would be Titus.
Ooh.
From Final Fantasy. 10.
Oh God, that whole game was hard to play. I hated Titus. Like, don't get me wrong,
I never liked Titus either. I was like, oh God.
Yo, hold on, Brett. Oh, him over Squall?
Ooh.
Squall was an asshole, but he wasn't a coward or anything.
He wasn't a bitch.
That is true.
Squall was just an asshole, man.
Yeah.
Squall just like they heard they like the people like the angsty part, when Cloud was angsty, so they're like, let's make a character entirely of that, and it didn't work.
By the way, I did.
My impression of Squall is always like, Squall, there's some sort of world-ending event that's happening. Whatever.
Yeah. It's pretty much the embodiment of emo.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my answer, Connor, for the punk ass. I couldn't stand that guy. Like, dude, okay, on paper, he should have been like an awesome assassin, right? He's half British, half Native American. He's during the American Civil War. I'm like a Revolutionary War. I'm like, this should be awesome. No, punk ass bitch. And then for the biggest badass, you guys already said it, man. Kratos, man. You like him and Marcus Phoenix too. Badasses, like those are men. Kratos is banging chicks while he's killing monsters. Like, how you don't get more manly? It's like, yo, hold on. I know there's a Cyclops in there, but I gotta fuck this bitch right here. That's a man.
Shout out to Master Chief. That dude goes to cryosleep just so he can get waken up to when shit's
wake
happening.
me up when there's a war.
Yeah, wake me up when I gotta kill shit. That's badass right there.
Dude, that's how I feel about that's why I said Samus. Like literally, Samus' job is like, hey, there's been a planet with an extinction level event that's probably caused by one of the biggest scourges of the galaxy. You mind popping out of hypersleep and jumping down there all by your lonesome real quick?
You could, what you could also
That's
say?
badass.
You could also name Samus twice. Like you could name her for badass, and for other M you can name her.
Other M doesn't exist.
Damn, that's true.
That's not a thing that happened.
Yeah, they kind of ruined her.
Yeah, like you're a badass if you go to cryosleep, and you're probably dreaming about killing monsters in cryosleep too. That's awesome. Other M. Oh man. All right. By the way, I want to give a quick shout out, even though I like him. He's a personal favorite of mine for punk ass bitch. Dan from Street Fighter.
He's supposed to be goofing on like SNK characters.
What was the name of that crazy Japanese guy from Marvel Superheroes for Street Fighter? You know what I'm talking about, man. The guy with the glasses and stuff.
You want to know something funny about that dude? He was like, okay, that character is actually based on a real person.
That's funny. That guy's a punk.
Yeah, that guy is he's like an ultimate nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that character is actually based on this comedian, and that's why he's not in the American one.
Yeah. By the way, I need to do this. I know I'm bending the rules a little bit, but I need to do this. Whatever game, if there is a Neon Genesis Evangelion game, Shinji's the punk ass bitch.
Oh, he's like the ultimate from anime.
Shinji is such a he has such power when it comes to bitch acidness that it transcends media. Like it goes into everything. Like even live action movies, Shinji's the bitch.
When you hear the question, and it doesn't matter what medium it is, it's like, have they made an Evangelion movie? Have they made an Evangelion video game? It's like just so you can put them in.
Yeah, that's it. I just got I got to throw Shinji under the bus, man. Fuck Shinji.
But like past Shinji, yeah. But the later one is actually not bad.
Yeah, you mean where he actually told
in the new movies?
Yeah, where he actually told his father, "Hey, fuck you." Yeah, he was actually told him fuck himself. Like, thank you, Shinji. You got like 2 hairs on your nuts now. Good for you. All right, let's move on. Mr. Illustrated Dio back with us. All right, he goes, I'm considering getting Devil May Cry 5 Collector's Edition within its week of release. Who else is looking forward to getting the game and revisiting the Devil May Cry franchise?
Not me.
No, I will. I'll enjoy that. I mean, as long as they don't do what they did with 4, man. 4 sucked. I actually half of 4.
Half of 4 sucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. As long as they don't do that, I'm fine. But I do want to play it.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm probably gonna get my copy as well. I'm not the biggest Devil May Cry fan, but I have played every single game, you know, and I am weird that DMC, the Ninja Theory game, is actually my favorite one. But what I played from this, I played the same demo you guys played. It was really good. I liked it. I liked the combat. It felt, it felt good. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Like a Devil May Cry game, right?
But for 2019, it's nice. It's a lot, because one of my problems with the other Devil May Cry games, they felt too stiff. This one's smooth as fuck. Anybody else Devil May Cry?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. I don't really know what to expect. I haven't played the demo. I saw All Day, like it said, All Day Digital is playing Devil May Cry 5. I'm like, what the hell? This shit came out already?
That was a demo.
Yeah, apparently it was a demo. So I'll just go in cold, and I really want to witness the second to. Well, not even the second to last step, but one of the, Capcom is doing their comeback tour, and I mean, they've succeeded on everything, Devil May Cry included. But I mean, this is a mainline Devil May Cry game, so if they knock this out of the park, then the last step is Street Fighter, and then we're all good.
Yeah, and Marvel vs. Capcom. You got to bring that back in the right way.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah,
then we're in Nirvana.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I'll stop. By the way, this is just a comment he threw in there. Not really part of the question, but I like to read it. He goes, also, I'm pretty hyped for whichever comes next from that same development team. It's confirmed it will be either Dragon's Dogma 2 or Resident Evil 3 remake. Hideaki Itsuno also hinted at working on a new Darkstalkers or Project Justice / Rival Schools. Wow, if they ever bring back Darkstalkers, I'll be fucking happy, man. But we'll see about that.
Here's for you toy collectors out there who like Darkstalkers. You know the company called Storm Collectibles? Storm Collectibles does pretty much every single what do they call it? Fighting game figure, but they're actually really, really good. So they did Mortal Kombat, they're doing the Street Fighter, so they actually got the rights to do Darkstalkers, so that's gonna be fun. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right. His next question is, what game would you want the most from the Capcom development team after Devil May Cry 5? I guess this could be any Capcom game.
Deep Down.
Right? Bring that shit back.
I'm sorry. Nostalgia's great, but I want to see some new games, guys. We can't keep on just retreading, doing remakes and retreads of previous games. Give us something new.
Yeah,
there was a point that Capcom used to make new fighting games, not just remaking the same ones with new rosters and two extra characters.
Yeah, there's something I said before. I think it's good that they're they're kind of establishing their base again by re-releasing these games, showing people why Capcom is good. But now that you've laid the foundation down, we need that new shit.
Yeah,
we need the new shit. What about the rest of you guys? What are you looking forward to from Capcom?
I would like Resident Evil 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see. The remakes are cool and all, like you said, but I continue that story. 7 set up something great, So I want to see what happens after that.
All right. Anybody else?
I want to see something. I want to see my Bionic Commando. I do want to see that come back in a new form, though. I feel like that they just left money on the table with that.
Well, they tried and we saw what happened.
Yeah, I know. That was horrible. That was too far off with the
dreads and money and the table.
They lost the table.
That was a letdown altogether. But man, the idea is awesome. Just love it.
Yeah, I think I'm with Chris. Resident Evil 8. That's one of the things I want. Because I think it's still too early for Street Fighter 6 done the right way. Anyway, Carlos, go ahead.
I'm with everyone except I'll just mention Street Fighter. Would be 7?
No, 6.
6. Yeah, Street Fighter 6. Just so I can know whether I'm done with Street Fighter or not.
Damn.
Because the last 2 games just Super Street Fighter 4 was not bad, but I mean obviously it's freaking a year or 2 after it came out. So but Street Fighter 5 never got me. That shit I just never got into it. So yeah.
All right. Anybody else? I'll take that. Yeah, you go ahead.
Keep remaking the old Resident Evils. They're working.
Remaking them. All right.
Remake.
Yeah.
I'd have to say,
go ahead, Brian.
Marvel is Capcom 4.
Yes.
So I think that we're all wanting that, not whatever Infinite was. Because
with the X-Men, we gotta get the X-Men back. You know.
Oh,
who the hell is the X-Men?
Who the hell are the X-Men? I don't know who they are. Capcom.
No one knows who they are.
Yeah.
Now they know.
But Captain Marvel, yeah, man, everybody knows her. Over Wolverine. Who the fuck's Wolverine? You know.
Okay. Yeah. And Dragon's Dogma 2 would be nice, but I'm not saying that they should. I'm saying that I would be happy if they did, because I'd like to see how that game would run on like a new engine that's all pretty and nice. But they don't need to.
On that Deep Down engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brett, what about you? Anything from Capcom you looking forward to in the future?
I'm looking forward to the Monster Hunter expansion.
Yes. I'm all over that shit, boy. Give me that. I can't wait. All right. Moving on here. Mr. Glorious War. So he goes, Game Informer editor Imran Khan and other Xbox insiders stated that Phil Spencer is having a third-party meeting with Nintendo. It seems games like Ori and Cuphead are coming to Switch. What do you guys think about that? Are you guys buying the next Xbox if all the exclusives are on the PC and Switch? Seems like Xbox is the man. Seems like Xbox is the town whore right now and giving it out to everybody.
Wow.
Damn, son.
Oh man.
He goes, I don't need to put a ring on it if I'm getting it from somewhere else. So yeah,
they're still getting it. That's the whole point. They're still selling it. It's their game. They're still making money from it, and that's where you make money from software. You don't make money from hardware.
Yeah. So I guess this is a two-part question. So yeah, what do you guys think about the possibility of Ori and the Ori and Cuphead coming to Switch?
Shit,
They're not putting. But you
give me Gears. Give me Gears. That's what I want.
You know
I want Gears on the
Roadie Run, man.
They're never gonna put Gears.
What? Don't never say never.
They're never gonna do.
Never.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna do the independent games like they did with Cuphead and Ori.
Oh no, they're gonna do the smaller ones because they're easier to port. They're smaller.
They're smaller to port, and you know, let's just say this is not their big. That's not their big deal.
No, testing the waters, man. Testing the waters. I'm telling you, if this is a hit, they're gonna do it. If they're already getting the Xbox app on there. So,
by the way, I need to just throw this extra question in there. Is anyone surprised by these two games possibly coming? I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Especially just like Adam said, after Xbox Live news, like I'm not surprised.
Not surprised at all.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, at this point, any game that can run on the Switch should be going to the Switch.
What about GTA?
Oh shit!
I mean, like, no, because you're gonna have to dumb it down. You know, actually,
it's gonna be like Chinatown Wars.
Don't tell the Switch guys that.
Don't tell the Switch that they're gonna come after us.
Oh, okay.
Make a faithful port of it. At this point, I don't care. Like, Nintendo is only limited by its lack of power. So if there's a game that they can get on there, then
imagination.
You know, I mean, obviously, it's funny because it's obviously showing that they're not limited by their power. Because
I don't mean technically, like, if you can get the game to run on there, then people will play it.
Yeah.
There are games that I'm sure
it doesn't matter if the game is a little bit junky, it's a little bit because everybody's already enamored at the fact that it's at a handheld sort of size, or you know it's not the most powerful system, but they're like, wow, this is amazing that it got in there, so it gets the gimme. You know,
I'd agree with that. There's definitely a portability boost.
Yeah. So yeah, that shit don't surprise me. Go ahead, Carlos.
So Brett, if Cuphead was on the Switch, would you play it?
Yeah, I've been wanting to play Cuphead anyway. I have a.
I know. We've been wanting you to play. We want to make it so Throwdown's the only podcast that has like 4 people that beat it.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't done it is I really want to sit down and just basically I want to burn through it as fast as humanly possible. Just as I want to test myself. So I want to see, if I can beat it in 2, 3 days, 4 days. So one of these days I'm going to have myself a nice little staycation and just go ham on Cuphead.
Yeah. I know you got plenty already, Brett, but This will grow some hair on your nuts. This game is serious, man.
Well, that's kind of why I want to test myself, because I know a lot of people are like, dude, it took me blank amount of time to beat that game. I'd like to see, like, I really want to see if I can beat it in 2 days.
Oh, that's a challenge.
Yeah,
that's a challenge right there.
I would. I mean,
I might accept 3. I might accept 3 as well.
Because I was gonna say, like, if you were to say 2, I would have made a bet.
Oh shit!
I know I got to bet with myself on this one.
Carlos, are you a betting man?
Also, I'm not gonna fucking bet that I can beast mode Cuphead in 2 days flat. Like that's a goal I'm striving towards, not something I'm willing to commit on.
Yeah, there's a difference there.
Yeah.
You know. Oh man. So yeah, that shit don't surprise me. Also,
Now, Carlos,
yeah. Go ahead.
how long did it take you to beat Cuphead?
Oh.
In hours?
No, in days, motherfucker.
In days.
Get out of
in
here
minutes.
with that bullshit.
Milliseconds.
No, because like 2 days. So what does he mean? 48 hours or like?
Carlos, it says I beat Cuphead in 3 hours. It took me a week. You know. So come on, man.
I honestly, like, I don't understand what you're saying.
You're full of shit right now, Brad. You know exactly what I'm saying, man.
How many days did it take you to beat Cuphead?
Yeah, that's it. That's all he's asking.
All right, hold on.
Look at this dude. No, how many? Carlos, not how many hours. How many days?
Yeah. How many?
Well,
days?
I don't know. I didn't count them.
Interesting, because example for me, it took me about a week, about like 7 days, but the counter says 3 hours or so. So there's a difference.
How long did it take you to beat the game?
It says I played Cuphead for a day, an hour, and 17 minutes. That's not right.
Well, no, that's probably how many hours you actually played.
That's what I'm saying. It just counts up your hours.
Yeah, it just counts up the hours. It doesn't count like you going to bed.
No. Yeah, you're right, but like, yeah, I guess 24 hours, 25 hours I played it. So I don't know how many days like it took me because I wasn't really counting them. So yeah,
that's an answer. All right, okay. The second part of this question, unless you guys want to say anything else about these games coming to Switch.
No, I think it's a cool idea. It's very interesting. But at the same time, it's not. I mean, granted, it also fits in the line of whatever Microsoft is going to be doing. I mean, to be honest, like, just look at the writings on the wall, man. Service.
Yep. Hey, I'm going to say it right now. I'm not okay.
They said it.
I'm not saying this is going to happen, but at this point, I will not be surprised if somewhere down the line you can have Xbox Live on PlayStation.
By the way,
I will not be surprised. Yeah.
By the way,
and when that day happens, I'm going to be on Twitter all fucking day. Those reactions are going to be crazy. Go ahead, man.
Going back to our previous discussion about days, I think I know why I was so confused and why it was so setting like so clear for Tony. Is because Tony like normally reviews games, so he knows like how long it took him to like beat a game. Like, okay, I got the review copy. I beat the game in 5 days, so I can write the review and post it.
But I knew how many days it takes me to play games even way before I did reviews. Manny, you know that. I would always tell you that shit.
You were meant to do reviews, man.
Maybe, like I always.
All I know is that like he gets the game and I get the game. I've always have played games slower than Tony has.
Yeah, because
before I know it, Tony's like, beat it.
Because if I asked Manny that question, he would say, I don't know. Like
I would say, well, no, I mean, like for me, it would be like, like with Nier, it pretty much took me a year to complete that game. Like literally playing 1 or 2 times a month.
What about Gravity Rush 2?
Gravity Rush, that I beat that in the first month that it came out. It wasn't until after all that shit happened, after that happened, that my schedule got crazy.
Because like for me, I don't really like.
And before when the year started, I actually I got the platinum for like 3 different games on that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like back in the younger days, I didn't do that, but I noticed a pattern started emerging around the PS2 era. I'm like, it takes me about a week to beat most games, and it like this is what I figured out. The average game takes you about a week to beat, and then 2 weeks for RPGs, and that's still true today. Although to be honest, I think I play games a lot faster now than I used to, probably because of the whole review thing. But I always, because you know me, I like to keep stats and shit, so I always knew how many days it would take me. But it didn't really crystallize until the PS2 era. I'm like, okay, it took me this long to beat games. You know, like Final Fantasy X, I remember that took me about a month to beat. You know, because I was like really slow on that. But yeah, games like Cuphead, I know I know how long that took me to beat. Nier Automata, same thing. Every game I know how long, because it's kind of like a little bit of a bragging right too. You know, like, yeah, I'll beat that game in 5 days, motherfucker. What about you? You know,
because like for me, I don't like.
But it depends on people's time. You can't just do that.
I can. I'll do that shit.
Not everybody has time. People have families.
Hey, and to be fair though, like, because I think I beat games fast. These guys on Twitter make me look like a punk bitch. Like, they'll beat the game the day it comes out. I'm like, okay, I can't touch you guys. You know, so I understand.
Like we didn't sleep.
Yeah, like
I feel like skill-based games though, like Cuphead, you have to play in a chunk. You can't put it down and then come back a week later and then pick it back up. You're pretty much gonna have to retrain yourself everything that you
you need to just stay on that game, you know, because like my counter was like 3 hours. I played that shit probably like what 6 hours a day or something, and the only reason I could only play that many hours is because the game is so difficult. You have to just stay away from it, because it's actually not only is difficult, but you're fucking hard. My charge pumping out of my chest like boom, 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 boom. You know, like, I'm sorry, this shit is even harder than fucking Dark Souls, man. Dark Souls at least has those moments where you could kind of stop and relax. Cuphead don't give you that shit. You know, it's constantly fucking you.
You know what? You want to know when you relax? You relax when you're walking to the next level.
That's it. You know,
that's your relax time.
But you rarely get to those. You know, it's crazy, man. Cuphead is the truth.
I love that Dark Souls makes you go, oh, thank God, a dark, quiet corner.
Think about that. Like, when Dark Souls makes me feel less oppressed than Cuphead does, you know something's going crazy, man. You know, like, Cuphead is just relentless. It doesn't end, you know? Dark Souls is like, okay, I could breathe now. I found a fucking save point. Cuphead is like, nope. We're slapping you around the whole time, son.
Found me a bonfire over here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I found a bonfire. If I die, I can come back here. Cuphead is like, no, bitch. You go right to the beginning. Fuck this shit. You know, but Cuphead is still not as hardcore as old school games, though. You know, they send you all the way back to the beginning of the game. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, you ran out of continues.
Yeah, too bad. You're going to level 1 again. Level 1. Let's go. Cuphead doesn't do that, at least. All right. Also, okay, are you guys buying the next Xbox if all the exclusives are on PC and Switch? Seems like Xbox is... Yeah, okay, we were ready to do that. So are you going to buy the next Xbox? I already said it. I'm not buying Xbox ever again. I will just play those games on my PC because it's better that way. And
on what?
On my PC?
On my PC?
Yeah, like I don't play games on Xbox. I play them on PC. It's just a better experience to me, you know. And since I rarely play Xbox games, I don't mind going through the annoyance of playing on PC because I only do that maybe twice a year anyway, you know. So yeah, no Xbox for me. I'll just play the games on my PC. So I'm still getting to experience the games, you know. I don't want to miss out. That's one thing, like, that's kind of good about having more money. Like, I could just buy every system and play every game I want now, you know. I'm a grown-ass man. Exactly. I'll spend my money how I motherfucking want to spend my money. You know, Brad, I'm going to you, man, because I know you said you are going to get the next Xbox.
It's not that I am; it's that I'm open to it. I have this weird concept every generation where I sit down and I critically look at what the console offers, what exclusives it has, what exclusives it's going to have, and the general relationship with the platform with its customer base. And then I buy a console if I think it's worth it. If I think that all of the consoles are worth it, I'll buy all of the consoles. If I think none of the consoles are worth it, I'll buy none of the consoles. I literally don't give a shit.
All right.
Most generations, I've had every console.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to switch it up sometimes, though. I guess the way you approach it.
I did buy the Wii U. I got Xbox super late, Xbox One super late. But I mean, I feel like Xbox One or Xbox One was a huge fucking failure at launch. I don't anticipate seeing something like that again for quite a while. I mean, the disparity on that was huge. They tried something, they fell on their face, and then they decided to double down and push harder, and the community said no. So that was fun, and half of the design of the entire console ended up being thrown out the window and never used. So cool. It's been kind of a gimped system from the get-go. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, easily.
If we're calling calling it what it is, then the system was never utilized and was never going to be utilized to its full potential. It was a half-baked product from the get-go. Unfortunately, Microsoft had committed to that half-baked product, and the console life cycle is pretty long. I'm expecting to see something significantly better for their next showing.
Yeah,
if
hopefully.
Not, I won't buy it.
All right, Adam, because you're Mr. Xbox, man. The 100K fucking gamer score. Will you get the next Xbox?
If it's true about just the one without a disc tray, that'll just have a hard drive and do the streaming and all that. Yeah, I'll do that. If it's small, like the way they're advertising or the way they're hinting at it, that there's going to be that SKU that's going to be smaller. It's going to have a hard drive, a large hard drive, or ability to do all of that. And with the streaming, yep, I'll do it. It'll be cheaper, because I don't use a tray. I don't use a tray on my PS4 Pro. I don't use a tray on my computer. And I have a Blu-ray drive on my computer. I bought that drive in for what? Just to rip them and do stuff, but I don't use that either. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right, man. Carlos.
I guess it just really depends on what the specifications are of the console, and like Adam mentioned, if it's gonna have a disc or not, because I might need a ultra 4K Blu-ray player. Like you mentioned, like all the games that are going to be on PC now, so there's no real reason to get it for the exclusives. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to I usually don't think about it. Like I usually get everything.
I could give an argument as to why it would be a good addition to a PC, not a replacement. But
oh no, me too. Because for example, my best experience with Crackdown is with my Xbox One X and not the PC.
So, Brett, what's your argument for it though? I want to hear this one. And before you go, the reason I want to I'm curious is because to me, in my mind, I'm like, if you have a really good gaming PC, you have absolutely no reason to have an Xbox. That's where I'm coming at it from. So what would be the reason to have a PC and an Xbox?
Closed architecture system, better support. Steam doesn't do shit about enforcing cheating in their games. Microsoft is one of the best.
But these games aren't on Steam.
Huh?
These games.
No, I'm just saying on PC it's harder to lock down. As Xbox as a platform is one of the most policed. It's honestly one of the best services. It gives you the best experience. I won't say anything on the community because that's fairly subjective, but in general, it gives you a really good, secure, stable online experience when doing competitive multiplayer. So there's that. We all know that I have a problem doing competitive games on PC. I feel there's too much rampant cheating, and the higher you make the reward, the more people are going to take that risk, even if it's just absolutely no. Show me a battle royale game that doesn't have at least one name modder in it, and so there's that, and then there's what Manny always talks about of the comfort of the living room. Steam Big Picture is great, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it's as optimized as the Xbox living room experience. So if you're really looking for those PC games with the comfort and easy user interface, or the comfort of your living room with easy user interface, honestly, your best choice as a service is still Xbox, I think.
I think that's a good way of putting it. I really should have added the addendum. I don't play multiplayer games, and my PC is literally right next to my TV. But yeah, if your PC is it's in another room, it's like, bro, that's too much trouble. Just buy an Xbox, play your shit in your living room. So that makes perfect sense, actually.
Like for me, if I it was enough reasons for me to get one, I would definitely opt to play it, even though my computer can more than play, a lot of the recent, Xbox games. Especially with that graphics card that I got from you.
By the way, Manny, when I get my new graphics card, I'm going to give you this old one, right?
I don't know if that thing's going to run in my old ass computer.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right. It might be too powerful.
Like,
that's what I did last time when I got my new graphics card. I'm like, hey, Manny, you take my old one now.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to check out my specs to see if it'll work. I don't want my fucking sparks to fly out of my case.
Like strapping a rocket booster to an El Camino.
Pretty much,
Actually, no. I know Manny's computer's better than that. Like artists have to have at least semi-decent computers.
My computer is from I don't know, when did I get it? Not 2012. Like a little later than that. So it's a few years old. It's an HP. So.
Yeah, you got to understand. There's something about Manny. He never has like the latest top of the line like computers for art. Like he has whatever works.
Yeah, that's the way I work it. It's like at the time, like the only time that I actually, granted, this was better than my previous PC, but the one that Chris built me, which was advanced for that time. But yeah, only time that I actually really splurged on a computer was when I had a really good job and in animation, and then I was like, hey Chris, build me a monster. So that's it.
Because I remember somebody was telling you that like the equipment you were using is outdated. It's like, yo, man, I can make this shit work, so why should I change? Something like that, right?
Well, number one, you got to think about it this way. Some people have a lot of money and they can update their shit all the damn time. That's not me. That's not most artists out in the industry. If you're working in comics, you're not making millions. I'm going to tell you that right now. So. So yeah, you're just gonna work with what works, and if at the moment in time comes where you can actually afford to move up to a new thing, yeah, you do it. But you don't update every single time they do it. They don't even do that in friggin' in studio jobs. You sit down in an animation studio, that shit's like maybe a 2 or 3 years old already, a lot of the time.
Yeah, right. And I already know the answer. Everybody knows the answer, but I'm gonna ask for laughs. Brian.
Excuse me? So Brian, you're actually on your Xbox right now, right?
Yes, I am. My direct Xbox.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm actually playing some Mass Effect Andromeda, because why not? Again, it's all about the games. Like the one reason why I have a Switch is that there's games I want to play on it. Breath of the Wild and Mario game. So if Xbox has games I want to play on it that are only available on it, then yeah.
Play that Mortal Kombat 5, man. Love it. It's on Switch.
What happened now? What game?
Modern Combat 5.
Modern Combat 5.
Yeah, it's the Call of Duty on Switch. It's freaking awesome. It just came out.
Is it not a phone game?
It was a tablet. It's a port.
Jesus.
But you say that, but when you play it with the controls and with the interface, it's just awesome. It's legit. It's getting rave reviews because it's legit.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, Brian, I'm guessing, you ain't buying that shit.
No, no reason to. Again, if there's games that are there that I want to play it, then yeah, I will. But then, again, in the same vein, I only have a PS4 to play GTA 5 with friends. Like to me, everything else is just extra. So, yeah. Weird case.
Yeah. All right. The last question here from Mr. GZDR Forever. So Lawbreakers got a 76 Metacritic. It had 5 versus 5 and 6 game modes. That game and studio is now closed. Crackdown 3 gets a 62 Metacritic, missing game modes, visual downgrade, and it's praised. Who's praising this game? That's what I want to know.
Is there anybody praising this game?
It's not that it's praised, but it's giving people what they wanted from the previous ones. Lawbreakers,
you gotta understand, Adam. Like the most quote unquote praise that I've heard about this game is been on this podcast tonight. Everything I've seen about this game has been shitting on it.
I've actually, that's what I've looked at, and I haven't seen that shitting.
I've seen nothing but hate.
I've seen people, and they're just haters. But I've seen people that liked the first one and said, "Hey, yeah, this is more of that." The multiplayer, it sucks. But if you're not coming in for the multiplayer, which people that played the first one or not, then it is, you get what you pay for. If you don't pay $60 for it,
I love the way Adam just said that. He's like, yeah, the multiplayer that sucks, but it's like
I don't go in for it for the multiplayer. That wasn't part of the first game for me. It was just co-op. So why would I care about that now?
Because you're the dude bro gamer.
No, if the game was about it, like let's say if it was just like a Call of Duty or something, and then, oh yeah, we're getting rid of all the multiplayers. Like I don't care about the blackout stuff, but multiplayer, you're getting rid of that? Really? That's what makes your game special.
Yeah. By the way, that Adam's stance on that is not that wild. Think about it. He said the same thing about Red Dead Redemption 2. He didn't care about the online. He was like, I'm not in for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, no one cares about the online for Red Dead.
Oh.
It's apparently still in beta.
Yeah, it's still in beta, just like home. Just like home, right? Yeah, but Adam, I feel you. If you weren't in it for that originally, you wouldn't be in it for it now. You know, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like as long as what I want from the first one is there. If they would have said like what happened with Call of Duty, where they're like, "Hey, we're taking out the campaign and we're just giving you multiplayer." Come on now, that the campaign was the fun part. The Michael Bay moments, that was fun. You know, and that's what people miss. And that's what you can get from Modern Combat 5 now on your Switch. $19.99.
The butter game.
From the Bro Gamer here on Throwdown. It gets a 15 out of 10 stars. Holy shit, go. Telling you, no regrets, especially if you have a controller. You're going to be like, yo, I'm playing Call of Duty. It's mapped just like
that shit is basically a real life version of Shooter, man, and you're praising it.
It's awesome. You gotta play it. Yay! Don't shit on it until you play it. Or
even fair enough. Fair enough.
Don't shit on Shooter Man, man.
Yeah. Shooter Man's the illest game you ever played in your life.
Anything's possible. Probably is.
Yeah. Imagine if that's the game that makes me love military combat games. Like, oh my fucking god! You know, what's the name of it again? Like
Modern Combat.
Modern Combat. This is a generic ass game.
No, they use it. You think it is? I'm telling you, it was a big hit on the tablets. And when it came over, you're laughing. But when
Hey, Adam, you realize you are still playing on the tablet? No!
Exactly. Controller. That's it. That's what I'm saying. You know what? We're going to give you the controller. We're going to take all the pay to win and all the stuff that they usually do for those mobile games. And it's a legit game. Whatever you level up carries over into the multiplayer. From the campaign to the multiplayer. It has all the big set piece moments. You start off in the water, you start shooting, you get on a boat, you get on the turret gun in the back, you're shooting down helicopters and boats are coming after you, people screaming, you doing hand-to-hand combat, you're stabbing them in the neck. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh,
it's fun.
Man.
I tell you, on the subreddit, people are like, yo, I could have swore I'm playing Call of Duty right now. You sure this isn't Call of Duty? And it's like, nope, this is it.
The fact they made 5 of them is hilarious to me.
And they got a Battle Royale mode that everybody wants to come over. I haven't played that because I don't play Battle Royale, but supposedly that's hot fire too on the mobile ones.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's a different world.
Yeah, it really is, man. All right, man, so we're going to wrap it up. So a couple of things here. So, again, join us on the Discord, which is the best place to ask us for questions. And you guys have been doing a really good job of that. So thank you. We're also having a lot of epic chats in there, you know, so... Thank you for joining up, and please spread the word. We got the nice permanent link there for you guys. You know, we actually had a couple of guys join us right during the show, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, join the Discord contest. So we're finally going to be doing the Spawn on Me X Throwdown collaboration contest, where we're going to give you guys, or Spawn on Me is going to give you guys the game. You know, we're going to announce all the details on Thursday. Stay tuned for that. And last but not least, Carlos and I will be playing through the first Halo starting Monday night. We're going to play the whole campaign, baby. So come through for that on the Twitch. Yeah. It'll be interesting. And if I like the game, maybe we'll do more. Because this is the perfect week. Nothing comes out this week. I have a little work to do. I don't really have much going on. So I'm like, okay, not because originally me and Carlos were talking about
the holiday.
Kind of, yeah. Because originally we were going to do this during the summer when I knew I wasn't doing anything. But like, there's nothing going on for 3 days. Perfect time, you know. Plus, you know, I'll be honest. When I was playing Crackdown, I got a little itch for the Chivos. I want to get some more. My goal for this year is I want to get to 10,000 Chivos. I got 8,500. I think I could do it this year. If I play 3 games, I think I'm good because I average about 500 per game. which is about half of them. So I think I could do it this year, Adam. I'm gonna do it, bro.
You get codes for Xbox. You probably just don't use them, right?
No, I get the offer. I always take the PlayStation code instead. You know me, man. I'm a PlayStation guy. Yeah. The only games I play or Xbox games I play are the exclusives. Like I was checking out Game Pass. I'm like, either like I already own them on PlayStation, or I could play them on PlayStation instead. But to be fair, I did use Game Pass for Halo, so that's so I could see the validity of Game Pass for that, like for the exclusives. But most of the exclusives I don't care about. Like Forza, I could get every Forza game right now. I don't care about Forza. Ori and the Blind Forest, I already bought that shit. Shadow Complex, I already bought it.
We can do Gears Ultimate.
We can, yeah.
And Ori 2 will come out this year, I think.
Oh, yeah, you already know, son. I love the first Ori and the Blind Forest, Good stuff. Let me put out a little schedule here that Mr. Subgata did. Mr. Gata. So, yeah, how to submit questions for Throwdown Your Questions. Step 1, join our Discord, obviously. Step 2, on Discord, go to the Throwdown Your Questions section. Step 3, submit your questions. Limit to 2 of them. And you guys are doing a pretty good job of that. But like I said at the top of the show, if you still want to leave us questions over on YouTube or Coalition, you can. But I'm just not going to advertise that part. You guys will figure it out, because, like you said, you don't want to add extra steps,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but this is sort of, and we have a good conversation there. Join us. It's fun. Throw
I
down.
popped in there once. Nobody said nothing.
I said something to you, man. It's crazy.
I was crying.
Yeah, you crazy, man. All right, guys. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us a questions and actually, yeah, just leave them in the Discord. I gotta update this fucking shit. And we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'll see you later, guys. On Thursday, I may not be around. Well, I'll be around. I just might add some extra noise to the show.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Pleasure as always.
Adam Vale.
Go play that Modern Combat 5. If you don't believe me, just go watch some videos on it. I'm telling you, and I want some people to give some feedback afterwards because I'm telling you, you're all going to be happy. You're like, yo, this is what the Switch was missing. There you go.
And Brian Manjoma.
I've been searching for the entrance for this damn cave for like an hour now. Can't find it.
What game? The entrance to what?
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Jesus. Oh, man. All right, guys. We'll see you for the next Throwdown. Will be regular Throwdown on Thursday. Contest is coming. And Carlos and I will see you tomorrow night for...
And I'll drop in too. Say what's up.
All right, guys. Later.
Peace.
Latest.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Deuces.
Go eat an egg roll.